days a week, 7 months a year.
I don't know how you do it, Andrew. I don't know how you'd sit in that press box and handle with Louis the amount of tricky business he gets up to. But in all honesty, like, I guess those personalities are what make football. You know, everyone's got a different personality, and you know that's what makes things so entertaining. That everyone's so different, and you know, we're all obviously trying to come together for a common goal. But some good times and some times I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
You've been part of this topsy-turvy, crazy season that we're having in 2025. Take the Roosters out of the equation, as that's where you are. Who's the best team in the comp this year, in your view?
Yeah, Andrew, look, it's for me, I feel like the competition this year is really exciting. I've watched it very closely all year, and look, I really like what the Raiders are doing at the moment, and obviously I feel like they're winning, but they're not playing their best. I feel like they can improve. Obviously the Dogs have been impressive, but for me, I think the Raiders are kind of number one. Obviously the Panthers are sort of building at the right time of the season. The Storm will always be there or thereabouts. So I think, you know, those top four teams, obviously history says that it's going to come down to one of those teams. But for me, I think it's the Raiders. I think they've got a real chance with their forward pack, their X factors, their exciting youngsters, and it's going to be a big back end of the year. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes.
Chad, great to speak to you. Congrats on reaching this decision. You know, not every player gets to make that decision on their own, and you've given us great detail as to how it came about and what it meant to you as an enormously long career, over 260 NRL games, not to be sneezed at, and a premiership, an historic one at that. Good luck for the remains of the year, mate. We'll be in touch soon, and good luck the rest of the way.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Heck of a career. Chad Townsend joining us, and some of the reaction we've got here. Congrats on a great career, Chad. Greatest representative of the 2233 postcode since Matt Rogers, says Jay from Engadine. Absolute champ. All the best to you, Chad, and thank you, says Brendan at River Heads. And we'll pass those on to Chad as well. It is a mighty career when you consider 2011's a long time ago, Matthew. And, you know, he's gone through various stages of his career. Obviously, he was great at Cronulla in 2016. He and Sean Johnson of the Warriors formed a great partnership. And then when Sean Johnson got injured one year, Chad wasn't anywhere near as effective. Comes back to the Sharks, leaves in COVID, battling all sorts of shoulder injuries, and to still be running around in 2025 says something about his character.
Absolutely, Andrew. And it was a pleasure to coach as well. You know, he was just such one of those players that was so diligent in everything that he did, that he wanted to learn constantly. So, I'm really stoked to have the opportunity to talk to him. And what about the vulnerability he showed there? Yeah. You know, about the decision behind deciding to stop playing and how he got emotional with his family. I thought that was a great insight as to how important it is for, he's representing probably 95% of the players.
Yeah, and as I said to him during that chat, because I'm a sticky beak with players' decisions to retire, they fascinate me. And the amount that have said the exact same thing, building in the mind, reach the moment, but to actually say it out loud to a family member or whoever it may be, brings on enormous emotion, as you can imagine. On the text line, 0467 920 222. Andrew and the crew, looking forward to the call, driving my bus in Canberra. But before tonight's game, can you please get Sir Billy Moore to state categorically that the Eels can't win tonight? It certainly worked for the boys against Brisbane last week. Good on you, Clint. Andrew, it's lovely to hear Rowan, and the Coos will be glad that Matthew is on tonight. Totally agree with the referees. They cop so much from the players and the crowd. I wish people would remember that they're people trying to do their best. We wouldn't have a game without them. Have a good call tonight and go the Storm. Teresa in Chile, Melbourne. Thank you, Teresa. Looking forward to being in Chile, Melbourne next Thursday night. Trucker Dennis, there was nothing better than as a young fellow watching Greg Hartley march team 10 metres and then watching go another 10 because the halfback wouldn't shut up. Tony in Bundaberg says it's called respect for referees. I'm 74, an ex-jockey, in trouble with stewards. The boss gave me 1 week. Said I'll do that standing on my head. He said, okay, get another week to get back on your feet. It's a different world we live in, isn't it? Team, I was very disappointed this week with a commercial station commentary, not the ABC, on the dropping of Casey Badger to touchline duties after an apparently bad game last week. I think you're referring to Belinda Sharp. I'm a keen listener to all league commentary. I've not heard this year running commentary on the demotion of referees as news. I can't help but think this was opportunistic and a throwback to a bygone era. Frankly, I'd like to think we're better than that. Mickey, you're certainly entitled to that view. When referees have a bad game and they get dropped, it does get mentioned. I'm unaware of over-the-top criticism of Belinda Sharp, but I'll take you for the point that you raised. She's obviously a very promising referee and has had some really good games this year as well. But I do think it gets a mention when referees get dropped or rested.
It's rested is the terminology they use these days, Andrew. And look, refs are like players. They have good games and bad games. And occasionally, the best way to regather form is to go back into New South Wales Cup or onto the touchline. So I don't think we should be singling anyone out.
More, even though I'm an Eagles supporter, always thought Chad was a great player and a good bloke, says Mark from the Central Coast. After that rap, hold your head high, Louis. Would love to meet you one day, says Pete at Nowra. No, Louis is very good with people. He would look after you,
Pete. Just don't bring your phone or anything that he can steal.
Yeah, and that's only touching the surface.
Yeah, and don't bring a bag either, because it's going to end up full of something that you weren't expecting it to be full of.
Just trying to be helpful. All right, players about to take the field. In fact, here they come, the Melbourne Storm fullback, Ryan Pappenhausen. The wingers are Grant Anderson and Xavier Coates. Setters, Jack Houth and Nick Meaney. 5'8" Cam Munster, halfback Tyron Wishart. The lock is Adavalu Lasati. Second rowers, Eliesa Katoa and Sean Blaw. Front rowers, Josh King and Stefano Utoikamanu. Hooker and Captain Harry Grant at a bench of Jonah Pezzett. Tui Kamitha, Bronson Garlick and Joey Chan. The 18th man is Lazarus Faalepu. And the coach is Craig Bellamy. Ruan Sims has made her way downstairs. Dry at the moment, Roo.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Both teams running out with Metallica ringing out of the speakers as the home side comes out. It has actually filled out a little bit more down here, so hopefully they'll continue to sort of stream in as the game is about to kick off. It is 11 degrees, but it feels like 7, and unfortunately for us down here on the sideline, it looks like rain is considered to be happening very, very soon. But I'm just worried about this south-southwesterly wind. It's meant to be coming through at about 30 k's an hour, so we'll see how that swirling wind goes for the fullbacks.
Might feel like about 3 when that hits. Parramatta heads to the northern end of the ground. Joash Papali, the fullback, Zach Lomax and Josh Adokar, the wingers. Will Benson and Sean Russell, the centres. Dean Hawkins, 5'8", Mitchell Moses, half. The lock is Luca Moretti. Second row is Jack Williams and Charlie Guymer. Front row is Junior Barlaw and Jermaine Hopgood. Hooker Riley Smith. And the bench, Talon De Silva, Dylan Walker, Matt Dury, and also in there is Sam Tuivati. The 18th man, Jordan Samrani. Coach Jason Riles. Referee is out there, Jared Sutton. The touch judges are his brother Chris Sutton and Zbigniew Chikasa Adamski. Chris Butler in the bunker. There's the whistle, and Ryan Pappenhausen as Melbourne run right to left, defending the southern end of the ground. Kicks off, and Parramatta get first touch of the footy, and Luca Moretti hits it up into the defence, 13 metres out from his own line and 15 in from that eastern touchline. Plays the ball to Riley Smith. He sends it open side right as Parramatta forced across field and stopped backwards, 14 metres out from their own goal line. The ball played, and they work it right to Barlaw. His first hit up. He's going to be contained and put to the ground. Blaw in over the top, 21 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Played to Smith, sends it right to Guymer. He's getting a good opportunity here too late in the season. Crowd of, I reckon, maybe 8,000 here at Western Sydney Stadium watching Jermaine Hopgood in centre field. Hits the ball up into the defence. Headed that time by Utoikamanu. Played 35 out from the Parramatta line. On the last instance, Mitch Moses kicked downfield. Sprinting across is Xavier Coates to catch it. 15 out from his own goal line. Heads over the 20, into the chase and put to the ground. 28 metres out from his own line by Jack Williams, who's been in a rich vein of form for the Parramatta Eels. Now it's Grant Anderson, Mr. Fix-It, or one of the Mr. Fix-Its for Melbourne, caught by Smith, 15 short of halfway, plays the ball to Grant, sends the ball open side right, and the Melbourne Storm has it 10 metres short of halfway. About 20 metres in from the eastern touchline, they attack the blind side. They go right, Wishart got the pass away, streaking down that touchline for the Melbourne Storm was the centre Nick Meaney, caught 39 metres away, played the ball to Grant, goes left, through hands away, Munster turns the ball back on the inside. And the tackle made on Utoikamanu, 36 out from the goal line. Last tackle Melbourne, no score on the board. Grant goes left to Munster. High kick from 36 metres out, down to the northeast corner. Adokar underneath it. Bodies everywhere, and a great catch by the Fox, Josh Adokar. 10 out from the Parramatta line, 10 in from touch in the northeast corner. Played quickly to Hawkins, goes right to Russell, and he scored 15 out from his own line. 2 minutes gone, Matthew Elliott. No score, Parramatta and Melbourne.
Yeah, great catch by Josh Adokar, but Melbourne Storm have come out of the blocks in both attack and defence, Andrew. Parramatta have got a big challenge in front of them.
So now the Eels are ready. He's going to be, breaks free of the tackle attempt of Josh King. Great run. Caught now 32 out from his own line. Riley Smith kicks from dummy half with the left boot. Finds the turf. Pappenhausen getting back there, and he'll pick it up 5 metres out from his own goal line. Returns it to the 10, then runs into the chase of Smith and put to the ground with help from Williams 14 metres out from the goal line. In fact, Hopgood was in there as well. Now Anderson smashed to the ground, 20 metres out from his own line for the Storm. Charlie Geimer gets off him. Played to Grant, sends it left away to Xavier Coates. Naretti's in there with Barlaw. About 28 metres out from the Melbourne line. Dummy half Grant. Sends it left to Jack Howard. Takes on the defensive line. Good run. Gets to within 10 of halfway. Put to the ground now. And in there was Geimer along two with Will Bensony. Back towards centre field. And the tackle made on Wishart. A metre short of halfway by Smith and Barlaw. Played on the last to Grant. He swings it left to Munster for the kick from halfway. Down to the fullback Joash Papali. He drops back. Takes it on the full 5 metres out from his own goal line. Runs into a wall of defenders headed up by King. And he's shut back 8 metres out from his own line. 3 minutes 20 gone, no score. Let's get early thoughts on the touchline. Ruan Sims.
Well, the Melbourne Storm looked very, very sharp. I thought that previous set of 6 in attack, I just spoke too soon. I thought the absolute mocker on them. The Melbourne Storm give away the first penalty of the game for flopping in the ruck there. This is going to allow the Eels to get out of trouble with this nice boot from Mitch Moses.
Yeah, very handy position, Root. 20 out from the Parramatta line is where they receive the penalty. And Mitch Moses will drop this over the western touchline. Not the cleanest strike, but finds it about 10 metres short of halfway. That's Judge Klaas Radamski's flag up. And the tap will be taken now by Benson. Goes left Smith away to Barlaw. Charges into Utoikamanu. Put to the ground about 7 metres short of halfway. Lasardi was in there as well. Now to the centre field, left they go. Hopgood away to Moretti. He's caught by Grant. About 3 metres in Melbourne territory. Thursday night footy on ABC Sport. Parramatta with it. Hopgood sends a terrible pass. Goes along the ground. Joash Papali goes back to pick it up, but they've lost 15 metres. More as he's put to the ground by Lasardi. 7 short of halfway. Smith now works it right. Bensony. He's caught a metre short of halfway. No score. 4 minutes 30 gone. Dummy half Riley Smith. Goes short side right to Mitch Moses. 4 tackles in. He puts boot the ball. Finds the grass. Zach Lomax leads the charge. Pappenhausen picks it off the deck. 5 out from his own goal line. Steps into Hopgood and Smith. 14 metres out from the Melbourne line. Still no score. 5 gone.
The obvious strategy there, Andrew, from Parramatta to kick early. Oh, and they get a penalty now.
Inside the 10, Will Bensony is the player penalised. First penalty for the Storm.
Yeah, is that, Parramatta, they've already shown us that they're going to have to take a few little risks in this game if they want to get a victory here tonight. But giving up field position to the Melbourne Storm, something they can't do.
So now the tap taken 10 metres short of halfway, and it comes open side right. Tackle made just short of halfway. Around the grounds, AFL, big game in Melbourne. Western Bulldogs 9th, leading 6th place GWS Giants in the first quarter, 27-8. We'll keep you up to date with that as Melbourne now right in the centre of the ground on halfway. King plays it to Grant. Goes left, Munster to Pappenhausen. Turns it inside to Howard. Got straight past Geimer into Barlaw and Hopgood and tackled 8 metres in Eels territory. 20 in from the western touchline. Played to Grant. Goes right to Munster. Short ball inside to Utoikamanu. Left Geimer in his wake. Caught 32 out from the Parramatta line. Couple of tackles left for the Storm. Grant a one-hand pickup. Goes left Munster. Linked up with support. Flick pass back on the inside. Goes astray from the lock forward for the Melbourne side, dived on by Charlie Geimer for Parramatta. The loose ball came from Lasardi, and Parramatta come away with it now 28 metres out from their own line. As the ball's played to Riley Smith. He sends it left to Sean Russell, who's smothered upon. But Melbourne caught inside the 10. So another penalty to the Eels, their second of the night. It's 14 short of halfway, 18 in from touch on the eastern side. 6 minutes 20 gone, no score, and now it's going to be Dean Hawkins on that eastern side. That's a much better kick. Great kick. Finds touch about 30 metres out from the Melbourne goal line, so a real chance here for the blue and gold to put pressure on. Russell takes the tap, sends it open side right. Smith short ball to Moretti. He's knocked to the deck. 27 out from the Melbourne goal line. 20 in from touch on that far side. Played to Smith. Goes right. Hopgood away to Junior Barlaw. Turns his back onto the defence of Bloor and Lasati and Grant. And now on the deck, 19 metres out from the line in front of the southern stick. Smith goes right to Moses. Runs on the line. Cut out ball to Benson. He's knocked to the ground by Howard. Finished off by Munster. 10 metres out. 5 metres in from touch in the southwest corner. Dummy half Guyman. Sends it away left. Moses away Barlaw. Links up with Hopgood. Dummy's got through King and then loses the ball in the tackle. And going back to pick it up is Josh King. Sends the pass away to Ryan Pappenhausen. Takes from Guyman. Burns in the Cuban mullet. Now taken by Moses. 18 out for the Melbourne line. No score. 7.5 gone. Dummy half Munster. Goes right to Howard. He's up over the 20. Caught 23 out from his own line. Let's check in on the touchline. Ruan Sims.
Well, previously in the attack, Melbourne Storm were blowing up. They felt like Cam Munster was taken out off the ball, and right now the Eels' defence are really up for the challenge.
Here's Eliesa Katoa, caught centre field, 33 out from his own line. Grant to the left, Munster turns it back on the inside to Coates. He's caught 10 metres short of halfway. Ball played. They work it right to Stefano Utoikamanu. Great offload the tackle to Lasati. Right foot step into the defence. Put to the ground now by Williams and Smith. About 7 metres in Parramatta territory on play 4. Grant, look right, goes left. And Munster turns it in for Pappenhausen. Beautifully read by Hopgood and Smith in defence. 30 out from the goal line. Centre field on the last. Played to Grant. Goes left to Munster. Dumming the kick. Links up instead with Bloor. Bloor on the tackle offloads to Howard. Got straight past Benson here, and then he loses the ball. Joash Papali comes away with it for Parramatta. Got away from Munster. Got away from Utoikamanu. Now caught on his own 28.5 gone Thursday night footy. And there's no scorers now. Lomax in off the wing. He's going to be caught in centre field by Katoa and King. 28 out from his own line. Played to Smith. Sends it left to Addo Carr. Accelerates into Wishart and Utoikamanu and tackled Matty 15 short of halfway.
Yeah, Melbourne Storm are really picking out Riley Smith in particular and Jermaine Hopgood as they see them as defensive spot players for them as Parramatta start to edge their way out of their own territory.
5 short of halfway. Comes to the right. Hopgood to Barlow. Big dummy by Junior. And into the defence he goes of Grant and King and Lasati. A metre or two into Melbourne's territory. Brings up the last though, and the kick will come from the boot of Mitch Moses. Up she goes down to Pappenhausen. About 18 out from the goal line. He flies through the air and comes down with it for Melbourne. And he'll play just inside his 20. Tackle came there from Will Benson. 12 in from the western touchline. Goes right this time to Xavier Coates. He's caught 23 out from his own line. And there was Benson in. Guyman played to Pappenhausen. Sends it right to Wishart. Then back on the inside. And spinning in the tackle, Anderson. Got the offload back to Tyron Wishart. He turns it into Meany. Nick Meany's caught 30 out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. 9.5 gone. No score. Melbourne with a footy. And out of dummy half goes Pappenhausen. But he's knocked to the deck ferociously in the end. About 14 metres short of halfway. Played to Grant. Sends the ball left. And again, the defence from Parramatta really, really good. And that time on Lasati. On the last is Wishart with the kick. Down the throat of Joash Papali. Drifted a little to his right. 15 out from his own goal line. Heads over the 20. Towards the 30. Was that a high shot from Munster? I thought it was. And it's going to be a penalty against Cam Munster for a high tackle. So the early penalty count 3-1 in favour of Parramatta. There's 25 out from the Eels line. We've had 10 minutes and 15 seconds gone, no score.
Yeah, well, Cameron Munster wasn't the heaviest hit to the head, but there's no doubt that it was a penalty, Andrew. And yeah, every time Melbourne Storm looked like to get some dominance going there, particularly early in the tackle count, giving away penalties and surrendering field position, just lets Parramatta off the hook.
So Parra finds touch, 3 metres in Melbourne's half. Anthony the tap, goes left Smith to Barlaw, taken by King and Utoikamanu, 9 metres in Storm's half. Smith goes wide right to Moses, takes on the defence, but Munster was ready for him with Utoikamanu. 31 out from the Melbourne line and 18 in from touch on the western side. Smith dummy half, goes left to Barlaw, then away to Hopgood, links up through hands. Hawkins got the pass away to Williams. He's caught 24 out from the goal line. Smith a dummy half, goes centre field right to Hopgood. At the line offloads to Barlaw, juggled it, lost it forward could knock on. So we're seeing a few of these errors. It's going to be a Melbourne Storm scrum feed, 15 out from their own line, 11 gone, no score.
Jermaine Hopgood, that's his third error, Andrew. He just needs to be able to dummy and take the line on because they can't afford to do that. I can see what he was trying to do with that play there, but you can't make that pass on the line and expect to be able to catch the ball with players all over him.
Wonder too, Roo, about the slippery nature of the ground given the on and off rain we've had all day as Melbourne wins the scrum on their own 20.
Yeah, there is a lot of moisture on the surface here, and I know the drainage is fantastic, but it is very, very greasy underfoot, and obviously we're seeing that in the handling conditions, and both trainers are heading out there with the sticky spray.
Okay, Roo, here's Melbourne now, 15 metres short of halfway. Katoa plays it, comes left to Lasati. He's tackled 3 metres short of halfway. Melbourne with it, no score. Thursday night footy after 12 minutes. Grant goes left, Josh King to Munster to Pappenhausen, turns it into Bloor, got straight past Guyman, now knocked to the ground by Hopgood, and also Moretti, 8 metres in Eels half. Played to Grant, goes centre field right to Munster, turns it into King. He scored 35 out from the goal line. Last tackle Storm, Grant goes left, Munster will be with a kick from 32 metres out. Got a running start, well short of the goal line. In fact, it's allowed to be caught on this occasion by Xavier Coates. Then a second kick goes into Joash Papali and he's flung to the ground in goal. That was a great recovery on the set, and Mitch Moses doing the arm flapping that we spoke about in the pre-game show, right up in the grill of referee Gerard Sutton. 12 minutes 40 gone, Parramatta 0, Melbourne 0, and that was a good catch from Xavier Coates, albeit uncontested. The two-hand pass back to Pappenhausen, who put in that great little step kick.
Yeah, and Harry Grant follows through with a great tackle to get the fullback into the in-goal area here, Andrew. So this is the first time the Storm have really good field position in this half.
Get your text messages shortly, 0467 920 222, as here's the line dropout from Parramatta. And Moses decides to drill it deep-ish, and well read by Pappenhausen. Takes it on the full 8 metres in Parramatta territory. Passes right to Josh King, and he straightens there into Hopgood and Williams and stands in the tackle. 25 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Grant dummy half. Goes left Lasati away to support in Utuakamanu. Caught 19 out from the goal line by Moretti and Guymer. Grant goes right. Munster, short ball away to Josh King. He stands in the tackle. Held is the call. 11 metres out. Now Grant, dummied left, goes right to Wishart. Short ball away, Eli Katoa. He scored 5 metres away. 4 tackles done for the Storm. Still no score. The ball played and they whip it to the left. Wishart away to Grant. Then a cut-out ball to Munster. Short ball to Howarth. And Bloor nearly got in his road as he's put to the ground by Benson here. 11 out. Moses there as well on the last. Munster, cross-field kick. Looking to link up with Eli Katoa. The ball is bashed back through the legs of Josh King. He will dive on it. And then he lost the ball. 6 more tackles to Melbourne. It was touched by Parramatta.
Yeah, Josh had a car there, Andrew. Dove for the ball and knocked the ball on and gave away 6 more.
So Grant goes left to Lasati. How many repeat sets can Melbourne have before they crack the Parramatta defence after 14 minutes and 30 seconds? Grant fires the ball right to Munster. Short ball away to Eli Katoa. Got straight past Williams, but now he's taken. Great tackle by Hawkins, 5 metres out. Grant from dummy half. Goes left to Munster. Juggled it and then stopped in the run, but they're inside the 10, Parramatta. So another set here for Melbourne. 11 out from the goal line. Grant, look left, sends the ball on the inside to Lasati. He got straight past one ordinary attempt to tackle from Guyman. Now put to the ground by Smith and Moretti, 9 away. Harry Grant goes right to King, through hands. King away to Wishart. Right foot step into Williams, and Hopgood stands in the tackle, 4 metres out. Grant from dummy half, darts to the left, links up now, through hands, Munster to Bloor, knocked to the ground, great defence Parramatta. Moses was around the ankles, 5 away. Grant goes open side, goes himself, and that's almost where he won a game for Melbourne in an opening round game against Parramatta here in extra time. Last tackle is a metre short, played to Lasati, goes right to Munster, puts in the stab kick, it's well weighted, it's in goal and it's knocked over the dead ball line by Dean Hawkins. Another line drop out. Parramatta no score, 15 and a half gone. Ruan Sims on the touchline. Parra's defence is awesome, but Melbourne is equally very patient.
Absolutely, and currently the Eels, I was counting after you mentioned that, the Eels have had to make 21 tackles in a row. They've had to defend 21 tackles, so we'll just have to see if that resilience holds on in this set of 6.
Yeah, at some point, it's a risk, isn't it? Here's Moses with a line drop out. Wonky looking thing. It bounces down towards Josh King, who juggles it. right on halfway for the Melbourne Storm, and he returns it himself into Williams and Hopgood, and tackled 34 out from the Parramatta line. Rain begins here at Western Sydney Stadium. Wishart an inside ball to Utoikamanu. Head poke through the defensive line, but taken 20 metres away. He plays the ball to Grant, comes to the left to Wishart. Wishart dummies back on the inside, but there was no one there, so he's caught 21 metres out. He'll play it in front of the northern post to Grant. Goes back left to Pappenhausen. He's going to be taken 16 metres out from the goal line by Geimer, also Barlow and Smith. Grant short side left to Sean Bloor. He's tackled 6 out from the goal line. Last tackle Melbourne. Still no score Thursday night footy. Grant goes right, Munster. Crossfield kick close to the goal line. Up they go. Katoa comes down with it, and I'll back him to score every day of the week. He scores 1,000,000 of these tries. Perfect kick by Munster. Perfect take by Eli Katoa. And the 27th tackle's the charm. Melbourne score after 27 straight tackles on the Parramatta goal line. That great combo of a crossfield kick for Eliesa Katoa. 17 minutes, 20 gone. Melbourne 4, Parramatta 0. And there was almost an air of inevitability about that, Matthew Elliott.
Absolutely, Andrew, but I pay a lot of credit to Parramatta there, because the Storm didn't look like scoring prior to that. There was a couple of half breaks there that they really scrambled well, but Cam Munster comes up with a perfectly weighted kick, and as you say, how many times have we seen Katoa do that? You know, competes for the ball, so it wasn't as though it was a surprise, but they just couldn't get him to pull up short of that try line, and a great try there to the Storm.
For Eliesa Katoa, it's his 10th try of the year, and I reckon most have been just like that. So we'll check in with Rue after the kick, because Ryan Pappenhausen has set this up very quickly. He's 15 metres out, just to the right of the post. 4-0, Melbourne leads Parramatta. We've had 18 minutes of play. Pappenhausen with a Mitch Moses-style sway. 14 out, about 5 to the right of the post. He strikes it. Oh, it's a shocking kick, and ricocheted off both uprights and goes back into the field of play. His first kick a goal in 5 weeks is not a good one, but it's a double uprighter. No goal. 4-0 Melbourne over Parramatta. Touchline Rowan Sims.
Well, I just want to reiterate what Matt Elliott said. I think the Parramatta Eels, even though they had 4 points scored against them, I don't think they'll be disappointed with the defensive effort they've seen. It came off a kick. It didn't come off any run threat that the Melbourne Storm or any shape the Melbourne Storm threw at them. So they think, I reckon 4 points, 17 minutes in, they'll be okay with that.
Is that a sign that'll be very early on, that there's no Jerome Hughes out there leading the way?
It is a little bit of a sign, but Melbourne are going through a process, Andrew. You're picking out their middle players, and they're just starting to, particularly Geimer over here on this right-hand side. He's already missed 4 tackles in this game.
Utoikamanu from the kick-off plays it. It comes right to Josh King, and he's tackled 19 out from his own line, a week after scoring a try-scoring double for the first time in his career. Speaking of tries, here's Eli Katoa on the right edge, put to the ground, 28 metres out from his own goal line, plays the ball, they work at centre field left. And Lasati, he's going to be tackled 14 metres short of halfway. Dylan Walker's out there now for Parramatta. Grant goes left to Pappenhausen. He steps his way into the defence. It's a good run. Gets to within a metre of halfway. Finally put down by Hopgood and Smith. On the last, Munster room to move from 43 metres out. Puts left boot the ball to the right wing of Lomax. He catches it 11 out from his own line. Returns it into Houth and Bloor. And Utoikamanu stands in the tackle. 15 out from his own goal line. Melbourne leading by 4 points to 0. That's a high tackle here. That's a lazy one by Munster on Mitch Moses. And another very obvious penalty going to Parramatta. It was just a lazy arm going out from Munster. And it's a penalty to the Eels. 24 out from their own line. 19 minutes 45 gone. Melbourne 4 leading Parramatta 0.
Yeah, clever play by Mitch Moses as well, Andrew. Even if he didn't go high, he caught Munster offside there getting back late. So Mitch Moses has great awareness around those sort of plays.
Moses finds touch right on halfway on this western side around the grounds. Just about to, in fact, just resuming the second quarter at Docklands. Western Bulldogs 41, leading the GWS Giants 8 from the tap. Parramatta 8 metres in Melbourne territory. As Benson, he plays it. Barlow goes to his left. Through hands, Dylan Walker got the pass away, and Parramatta 36 out from the Melbourne goal line. The ball played now by Hopgood to Smith. Goes right, Walker away to Barlow. He turns his back on them, but taken 28 metres out from the goal line. King was in there with Bloor. Smith, long ball left to Moses, then away to Hawkins. Plays at the line to Papali. then on to Sean Russell, takes on the defence of Mini. Wrapped up ball and all, 15 out and 5 in from touch in the Southeast corner. Play to Adokar, sends the ball right, Hawkins away to Papali in centre field. Then he links up with Moses, puts in the stab kick without real chase. Pappenhausen's there, just in the end goal there, and burrows his way forward into the defence of Lomax, and also coming through there was Bensony, 1 metre out for the Melbourne line. Plays the ball and they work it right to Xavier Coates. Cracks through Junior Barlaw, but now dealt with by Smith and Lomax, and one other defender coming through there, Bensony. 5 out from the Melbourne line. Melbourne 4, Parramatta 0. Gee, 21 minutes gone already. Howarth with a hit up for Melbourne on play 3. He scored 11 out from his own line by Geimer and Walker. Dummy half Munster goes right to King. Ever reliable Josh Kings put to the deck. 18 out from his own line by Hopgood and Barlaw. Play to Grant. Flat pass goes right to Utuga Manu. He scored 29 out from his own line. Last tackle now though for the Storm. Grant goes left to Munster from outside his 30. Kicks across his body and the ball bounces down to Papali on the Parramatta 20. Sends a long ball left to Adokar over the 30. Takes on the defence and taken by Mini and Katoa. 12 short of halfway. 4-0 in favour of Melbourne. 22 gone. Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of rhythm in the game here. If you want to know what the Storm's approach to the game is, Riley Smith's already made 26 tackles, Andrew.
Wow. So now it's Parramatta. 5 metres inside Melbourne Storm territory. And Lomax loses the ball, but simultaneous with the call of held, so we get the benefit of the doubt in the Katoa tackle. Played to Smith, goes to the right, Walker away to Barlaw, straightens into Bloor and Munster and King. 39 out for the Melbourne line. Parramatta with it down 4-0. Riley Smith, centre field left. Walker away to Hawkins, then linked up with support. Williams is taken, 25 out. Good slick play by Parramatta, bringing up the last. Smith, short side left to Hawkins, runs to the line, puts in the stab kick, but straight to Pappenhausen, and he's away. And Hawkins is going to make that tackle in concert with Dylan Walker. 12 out from the Melbourne line is a disappointing end to an otherwise promising set. And now the ball has been lost or is played incorrectly. Either way, it's going to be a Parramatta ball 12 metres out from the Melbourne line. 17 minutes left first half. How crucial that error be from Pappenhausen. Melbourne 4, Parramatta 0, but the scrum is going to pack, 13-14 out from the Melbourne goal line.
Yeah, and Parramatta are showing, Andrew, that they're prepared to chance their arm in attack there and there. Right, Pappenhausen got that just 100% wrong. He's got his flapping his arms around like we discussed earlier, but the ref got that call right. Can Parramatta get across the stripe?
If you like your cricket, England and India playing the decisive 5th test of their series at the Oval. England has won the toss, sent India into bat, and the Indians have none for 7, trailing the series 2-1. So scrum, fed centre field, won by Parra. Smith goes right to Moses, turns it on the inside to Bensony, and he scored 12 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Riley Smith, a dummy half. He'll go centre field left towards Junior Barlaw. Accelerates, knocked to the ground quickly, however. 8 metres out from the line, courtesy of King and Munster. Played to Smith, goes short side right to Geimer. Law heads the defence, 2 metres out from the Melbourne line. Right in front of the Brett Kenny stand. Smith goes left to Moses, then to Hawkins, then away to Papali. Links up with Russell to Adokar. He dived underneath Anderson. Does he get it down? Josh Adokar does. Try to the Parramatta Eels. And I tell you what, ever since leaving the Melbourne Storm, Josh Adokar has haunted them. He's now scored 6 tries against the Melbourne Storm in his 5th game. Josh Adokar crosses for Parramatta. Parramatta 4, Melbourne 4, 24 and a half minutes gone.
Yeah, Andrew, a really good set play, shifting the ball to their left-hand side. Some of the passing there, particularly through the halves, was really slick. Oh, Josh Adokar does a really good job there. Cover defence coming over, gets his body low to the ground and slides over, Andrew.
And, gee, that's a really powerful finish from Josh Adokar. Touchline runs here.
It was a fantastic finish from the box. And I tell you what, a few minutes ago, I was actually thinking to myself, they need to be attacking using their left edge attack, because over half of the tries that have been scored against the Melbourne Storm this year have been down the Melbourne Storm's right edge defence. They needed to get some really good run shape for the Parramatta Eels, and that's exactly what they did. And that was some kind of spectacular finish from the Fox.
So 4-all with a sideline conversion to come from Zach Lomax, who, Matt, we were both here around 4 o'clock this afternoon. It wasn't long after that we saw Zach Lomax out on the field, tossing the ball to himself, doing some kicks. He's he's always so early to grounds.
Yeah, he likes his early game ritual and goes out there and throws the ball high in the air, just make sure that he's got all his senses there, so he likes a bit of alone time. This is a big kick for him.
22 out, 2 metres in from the eastern touchline. In front of the Michael Cronin stand here at Western Sydney Stadium. 4-all the score, Eels and Storm, 14 and a half to go in the first half. Here comes Lomax with the right boot. He strikes it off the upright, no goal. It's a woodworkathon, but he only hit one of them. So it's 4-all.
He hit it pretty hard though from the sideline. It's still wobbling, Andrew. So 4-all, but I've got to say, for me, the most impressive team has been the Parramatta side, Andrew. They've again defensively been asked some major questions, but that was a great team try. You can't even pick out one particular play with their slick play to that left-hand side. The catch and pass was just spot on.
On the text line, 0467 920 222. David says the Fox are out-and-out champion. Wes from Kyogle says, having a few beers with my beautiful partner Sally around the fire listening to the call. Good on you, Wes. Hello, Sally. Christopher from Shoalwater, WA. Thanks for the great call. With all the arm waving, is it possible the players are trying to communicate by a system called semaphore, holding both arms raised at 45-degree angle, represents the letter U? That's in your territory with Mercury, I would dare say. Matthew, as Parramatta has the footy now, 17 out from their own goal line. Ball's going to be played here by Jack Williams. Centre field right it goes. And just outside their 20-metre line is where Walker's tackled. Stood in the tackle and now plays the ball to Smith. Goes to the right edge, Hopgood. He's nailed over the top. On this occasion, right on his own 30-metre line by Karma Kamitha is out there. Walker dummies, goes himself, caught 9 metres short of halfway. Last tackle Parramatta, and Smith finds Mitch Moses to his right, kicks it from his own 40-metre line despite the pressure of Katoa. Good deep kick, caught though by Coates. 7 out from his own goal line, heads up over the 10 towards the 20, runs into Hopgood and Smith and nailed. 19 out from the Melbourne line. We've got a good one here with 26 and a half minutes gone. Melbourne and Parramatta locked at 4 as Howarth with the hit up. He's put to the deck by Smith. 27 out from the Melbourne goal line. Played to Grant. Short side left to Sean Bloor. And he's going to be taken 33 out from his own line and 13 in from touch western side. Moses was there with Lomax. Played to Grant, goes right to Munster. Inside ball to Karma Kamitha. He's tackled 14 short of halfway. 2 tackles left for Melbourne. Grant goes right to Utoika Manu. Straight up the middle, but put to the ground. 4 short of halfway. Terrific tackle head on by Walker. On the last, it's Wishart with the kick. His own side of halfway down to Adokar. Few steps to his right. Takes it 14 out from his own line. Instantly gives the pass to his right to this talented youngster Joash Papali, and he's caught on his own 20-metre line. Jermaine Hopgood coming from the field for Parramatta, and on comes Matt Dury. He's been playing well also. Now Slomax in centre field, caught 25 out from his own line. Which team's on top, Matthew? 4-all is the score.
Yeah, it's very close, Andrew. There's just some subtle differences that we just saw there. Is the Parramatta team are getting down on their front really quickly, and also Mitch Moses' kicking game. You would never see the players coming forward to catch his kick. They've got to go back to retrieve it.
Now here's Walker, plays at the line to his left. Hawkins, Papali to Russell. Russell had Adokar with him, but he takes the tackle 11 metres inside Melbourne territory of Mini, near the eastern touchline. Bring out the last, and it's a Hawkins kick. Coming down about 10 out from the goal line. Xavier Coates in front of the post takes it, and he's barreled to the ground. Great kick chase that time, particularly from Matt Dury on the Melbourne 10. Now they quickly work it left to Howarth, got straight past Bensony, and now gets all the way up to these 30-metre line. Great run by Howarth. Played to Pappenhausen, goes from dummy half, beats Barlord, taken by Dury and Geimer. 8 short of halfway, 15 in from touch western side. Grant goes centre field right, Munster away to Wishart. Then back on the inside. Bang, big hit coming on Anderson. And on the deck now on halfway. He'll play it with 2 tackles left for Melbourne to Grant. Comes left edge this time. And some more big defence from Geimer and Dury. 7 metres inside Parramatta territory. And that time the tackle was on Joey Chan on the field. Kick downfield. Caught by Papali. 10 out from his own goal line. Takes on the chase. Caught right on his own 20. Parramatta 4, Melbourne 4. 11 left first half. Down to the touchline. Rowan Sims.
I know you asked who's on top, and I just think the defensive efforts from the Parramatta Eels have been absolutely fantastic, and they're really starting to warm into their attack towards the back end of this first half. And there's a penalty here as well. This helps.
Yeah, markers not square on as Benson made half a break. And the penalties are now 5-2 in favour of Parramatta. This is 33 out from the Eels line, 15 in from the Western touchline.
It's one of those things I was talking about, Andrew, is Parramatta are getting more rucks people. They're getting on their front, and what Melbourne Storm there, they're trying to compensate there. This is a really important set for the Eels, and they've got some good field position here. They're going to test that right-hand defensive unit yet again.
On the text line, enjoy calling Andrew Matt Ruan from Jody. Thanks, Jodes. Go Parra. Love to see the bottom teams knocking off the top one, says Francis. As from the tap, Parramatta 39 metres out. Matt Dury plays the ball. And also on the field, Talon De Silva, the mid-year pickup from the West Tigers. He goes right. Parramatta get from right to left. Parramatta get 25 out. Barlow played to De Silva. Goes right to Walker. Right to the line. Offloads Moses to Guymer. Got straight past to Howarth. And now he's taken and the ball goes free. And Guymer, all his good work there came undone. So Melbourne come away with it. They've got a 20 out from their own goal line.
Oh, that's disappointing play there because they actually had the Melbourne Storm defensive unit completely at 6 and 7 and they give away a penalty.
Yeah, that's really, really poor play from Parramatta. A ball rake and the penalty goes to Melbourne on their own 30-metre line, their third penalty of the night. Around the grounds in the AFL, Western Bulldogs in the second quarter leading the GWS Giants 47-8. That's ninth leading sixth as Melbourne finds touch 8 metres short of halfway. 4-all the score here. You're with Matt Elliott, Ruan Sims. I'm Andrew Moore on ABC Sport. About 31 minutes and from the restart Melbourne have it a metre short of halfway. To his feet and playing the ball. Mini comes to the left. Wishart away to Kamikamitha. Kamikamitha, good run. Put to the ground 3 metres in Parramatta territory by De Silva. Played to Grant, one-handed pickup. Goes left Munster to Pappenhausen. Turns it into Bloor. Lovely tackle down low and head on by Guymer. 38 metres out from the Eels goal line. And it's a set restart. They're really imploding in the last 90 seconds, Parramatta. So another set here for Melbourne. They go right edge. Here's a drop ball from Katoa and dived on by Parramatta. So that time the advantage was played and the Eels come away with it. Forget the implosion. They're looking for an explosion now. Is that O'Carr? He's taken by Wishart 11 short of halfway. Plays the ball to Papali. Now a drop ball from Jack Williams. I'm back to being imploding. They really are their own worst enemy. Comes to the left. Bloor away to Munster. Floats a dipsy doodle pass out the back. But the referee's coming back for knock on Parramatta.
Shot clock on. Here we go, boys.
Wow, well that was an interesting little exchange of play there, wasn't it, with errors coming up from both teams just as they get... It's been a high-speed game, Andrew. I'm not making excuses for them, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch this last part of this half because both teams are suffering fatigue. You can see that quite clearly.
So the scrum to be fed by Melbourne, 40 out from the Parramatta line, 4-all the score, 7 minutes 30 left in the half. Melbourne scored first through Eliesa Katoa, and Josh Adokar has replied for Parramatta from the scrum win. There's a high tackle from the Eels. Guymer was involved in the tackle, and now the penalty count moves along to 5-3 to Parramatta, although I feel like I may have miscued there somewhere, a bit like that tackle did from Moses. So Munster will find touch on the western side. They don't take the 2 points. They find touch instead. 20 metres out from the Eels goal line, and Howarth will take the tap. He'll send it to the right. With the cutout ball, not a good pass. Well taken by Grant, high above his head. Then away to Munster. He has to take on the line of Walker and Barlow, and caught 23 metres out from the line. De Silva there as well, right in front of the northern post, and he loads all over him, Dylan Walker, to just present another set to Melbourne, who now have it 15 away from the goal line. Ball played by Kamikamitha to Grant. Goes right. Munster turns it into Josh King. He's tackled 11 out from the Parramatta line in front of those posts. Grant awaits. He'll go to the right side and cuts out one. Links up with Wishart to Pappenhausen. He dummies, but the defence holds firm. Hawkins is over there with 2 others, including Jack Williams, 8 metres out from the goal line. Plays it to Mini. Goes left to Wishart, away to Grant. Grant just jogged at the line, then it floats to Munster, who got straight through Barlaw. Tackled down 10 metres out from the goal line. Plays the ball to Grant. Melbourne looking to get a roll on here. Comes right, Kamikamitha is straight through. Paper within defence, and he's over to score the try with 6 minutes left in the first half. And Tui Kamakamitha, he's over to score, and to the Parramatta defence he said, Padaka Bakalevu, he's over. Melbourne 8, Parramatta 4. A really forgettable 3 minutes for Parramatta, who up until then had been outstanding. 5.5 to go first half. Melbourne 8, Parramatta 4.
Yeah, good lip reading, Andrew, but again, it was Harry Grant. The halves have been, the Melbourne halves have failed to really take control of the game, so Harry Grant comes back at the middle there, plays out the back. Oh, what a great try there, untouched, Andrew. We saw that twice last week off Harry Grant passes, and again, we see him take charge of their play through the middle of the field and set up another one.
Touchline, Ruan Sims.
Yeah, Harry Grant is such at his scheming best when he does this. The way he runs with the football, the way he dummies and just leaves the ball out there with one hand really gets the outside defender interested. I think it was Matt Dury. He got too interested. He bit in hard on Harry Grant, and then Tui Kamakamitha just hitting that straight line is exactly what he was after. And I know there was a flurry of errors from the Parramatta Eels, but I feel like they were a little bit dudded when they were down here in this southwestern corner.
Get more information after kick. Here's Pappenhausen. Can we get a goal kick that doesn't hit the woodwork? Yes, right between the sticks. And it's now Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4 here at Western Sydney Stadium. 4 minutes 30 in the half. Which incident are you referring to, Ruth?
When Charlie Geimer goes into the line, looks for the offload, Will Benson is actually tackled off the football, and I felt like that should have actually been a penalty for the home side.
Okay, good pickup. But it is 10-4 to the Storm, and a very important stage of the game coming up here in these last 4 minutes 30 of the half.
Absolutely, Andrew. You talked about the absence of Jerome Hughes and how that would impact this team. I'm really seeing it in spades tonight there, where I'm a big fan of Tyron Wishart, but he either runs or passes. There's no real decision for the defence to make.
Kickoff taken by Munster. He dummies and goes himself in the end to be tackled 14 out from his own line. Around the grounds, what about this score? Second quarter AFL. Western Bulldogs 72, leading the GWS Giants 8 at Dockland Stadium. Here's Melbourne 21 out from their own line. Kamakamitha plays it to Grant, sends it right to Katoa, and Williams among the defenders there with Walker, who put him down. 29 out from the Melbourne line. Hawkins there as well. 15 in from the far touchline. Grant sends it left to Mini. He's caught in centre field or near enough. 14 short of halfway for the Storm. Grant dummy half. He'll go left to Munster from inside the 40. Puts a kick down to the northwest corner looking for a 40-20. Papali comes across. Intercepts at 17 out from his own goal line. Runs across field, straightens into Munster and hitting a jolting tackle. And Mitch Moses again threatens to take off with the arms extended. 25 out from the Parramatta line. Plays it to Moses. Goes left to Lomax, but he's smashed to the ground. 28 out from his own line. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4, 3 minutes 30 left in the half. Now Benson on the right edge for Parramatta, caught 14 short of halfway. There's a wicket in the 5th cricket test of the Oval, with Jayswell out, LBW Gus Atkinson for 2, India 1 for 10 in that decisive 5th test. Now ball played to Silva, sends it left, Dury away to Walker as he's hit. He offloads to Hawkins, then Papali, quick hand thrust into Adokar. He's up over the 40, beats Wishart, then he spins away from another one. Now he's caught 27 metres away. Dylan Walker playing at price for playing that footy so late, slow to his feet. Kick on the last from Hawkins is a shocking taken by Coates in goal on the full, and it's a 20-metre tap and a 7-tackle restart, and that's just something Parramatta has been unable to do, maintain the pressure. And from the restart, the tackle made on Pappenhausen, 31 out from his own goal line. They give away another set restart to the Melbourne Storm, their 4th of the night, 14 short of halfway. Played to Grant, short side left to Howard. Howard got straight through Moses, up over halfway, taken by Lomax and Barlow, 3 metres in Parramatta territory. Danger signs here for the Eels. Munster takes them on centre field and turned his back on the defence, but can't get the offload. 38 metres away. Played to Grant, takes off from dummy half, straight past the offside to Silva, into the arms of Williams, who flings him to the ground. 33 out from the Parramatta line. 2 minutes left in the half. Melbourne on the attack, leading the Eels 10-4. Wishart hands it off on the inside, darting across field and straightening that time, and now taking the tackle is Mini, 28 metres out. Comes to the left. Munster on the last. Kick down to the wing of Lomax. The ball comes free to Kamakamitha, who was touched by Parramatta, and there's going to be a knock on by Lomax.
First touch from Zach.
It's going to be a challenge. Let's have a listen.
Okay, mate. Parramatta challenging the ruling that Zach Lomax gets the first touch in the air and that it's a knock-on by Parramatta first. They're challenging that Melbourne actually knocks it on.
Massive call, Matthew Elliott, with 1:36 left in the first half.
Absolutely, Andrew. And again,
Melbourne
they went straight upstairs. Oh,
It's a blatant knock on. Am I missing something on that replay?
no, you're not missing anything, Andrew.
Because Xavier Coates' left hand was up there, but if he touched it or went backwards, then it's definitely come off
Ball's
Lomax.
knocked backwards by Xavier Coates. Just need to see if Zach gets a finger to it at any point.
I think he got his whole palm to it.
Looks like his right hand hits that ball, Andrew.
See another angle. Coates' left hand definitely touches it.
Yeah, he's knocking it back, but Zach Lomax does get a hand to it as far as I can tell. Not on that shot, I can't.
You can't see where the ball
After
hits your hand.
Xavier hits the ball backwards, it hits the right hand of Zach Lomax and travels forward, which is a knock on. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
That's the thing though, Rowan. Zach would have known he touched that.
Well, it looks like he should have, but he does have a huge amount of strapping on there, so I don't know whether he felt that it was just contact from Xavier Coates' hand or not, but to us, it looked pretty straightforward. Whether they just thought they'd use it so they could eat up a little bit of time because they have had to defend their own line a lot or not, I'm not sure, but it's a strange one.
Well, the bottom line is Melbourne gets a scrum feed 10 metres out right in front of the northern post with 96 seconds to go in the half. 10-4 Melbourne. This could be massive. Parramatta's got to defend. Scrum one, they go to the right. Munster. He got the pass away to Meany, but the defence is there and it holds firm. 10 metres out from the Parramatta line and 15 in for the eastern touchline. The butt play to Grant. Goes to the left. Wishart. He links up with support. Strong run coming here from Melbourne's Joey Chan. Caught 9 metres out from the goal line. Grant dummy half again. Comes to the right. Chamakamitha looking for a rare double. Held up by 4 Parramatta defenders. 2 metres out right in front of the post. 3 tackles left for Melbourne. Grant awaits. Goes to the right. Munster pass away to King. And he scored 3 metres out from the goal line. Parramatta defenders waving out to their left. Melbourne's right, but Melbourne goes the other way. Munster a stab kick, but Lomax is there in plenty of time. And he's tackled over the dead ball line with only 43 seconds to go by Blore. Curious from Cam Munster.
And it was a curious play, Andrew, and I've got to say, Melbourne Storm don't look threatening at all, do they, in possession on the trial? And the only person that I'd be worried about is Harry Grant. But, you know, both Munster and Wishart aren't asking any questions with their own legs.
Legless. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, what I'm saying is that they've got to actually make the defence actually tackle them first or go at them first before they make a play.
Line drop out by Moses in the nick of time, and it scoots past Pappenhausen. He'll finally pick it up, 32 out from his own line with only 6 seconds to go. Chip and chase by the mullet, ran into Dylan Walker, recovered, and it's a penalty going against Parramatta.
You both closed it. They both closed it. Josh. Away we go.
Away we go. Arms.
So it's a penalty going to Melbourne, and they'll take a shot at goal from 38 metres out.
Get him away.
As Ryan Pappenhausen attempted to turn nothing into something with a chip over the top, and Dylan Walker is deemed to have turned his body into Pappenhausen, and the referee may well be right.
Yeah, the referee's 100% right there. Is that you can't complain about that. He changed directions. He did a very good job of trying to pretend that he didn't do it.
Like where the ball bounces, back 10 metres.
So the penalty's 38 metres out, right in front. Pappenhausen will attempt to take the 2 and extend the lead to 8. Touchline, Rowan Sims.
Yeah, that one was definitely a penalty, and I think it's a really smart play from Pappenhausen. He knew that there was no time left on the clock, and he just wanted to play what was in front of him, and that's what he does best.
So now the kick will come. He's landed 1 from 2. Grimes, he says, evening, Andrew, Matt and Rue. Besides Penrith, you know who else scores just before halftime? Melbourne and Xavier Coates. Well, you're going to be right about Melbourne, I think, not necessarily Coates tonight. 10-4, Melbourne leads Parramatta. Last play of the half is this kick from Pappenhausen. 38 metres out, right in front. To put Melbourne up by 8 at the break. Here comes Pappenhausen with the right boot. He strikes it, heading towards the post, but he's missed it away to the right. No goal. And the Parramatta fans cheer because Pappenhausen's kicked us 1 from 3, and that will end the first half with it being a converted try the difference. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4. For the Storm, tries to Eliesa Katoa in the 17th minute, to Tui Kamamitha in the 35th. Ryan Pappenhausen 1 from 3, 4 restarts for the Storm. For Parramatta, a try to Josh Adokar in the 25th minute. Zach Lomax, none from 1. No restarts, 1 unsuccessful challenge. And the penalty count by my tally 5-4 in favour of Parramatta. Melbourne's had 60% of the ball in that first half. 60. They've completed 23 of their 26 sets. Parramatta's completed 15 of their 19 sets. But you wonder how much of that 60% first half possession is going to count in the second 40, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. And I think you described it perfectly. They were able to create pressure, Parramatta. I thought they looked the most dangerous in possession, but they just kept blowing their opportunities by overplaying slightly. So that's something they're going to have to address at half time, because they've taken a lot of petrol out of their tank in that first half.
Yeah, I guess the petrol's taken out, but at least Ruan Parramatta can be encouraged by the fact that that lead didn't blow out late.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only 6 points in it, and like I said, after that first try, Melbourne Storm at the moment, they don't look that dangerous with run threats on the edges. It's just through the middle with Harry Grant. His ball playing is actually pulling the defensive line apart. If the Melbourne Storm continue to go to that in the second half, they'll run away pretty easily. And I just think that the Parramatta Eels, their defence has been fantastic, but they got to stay in their systems.
On the text line, 0467 920 222. Phil from Moree, watching the football on the ABC. It's the best. Totally different Parramatta team now than earlier in the season. Gosh, you're right, Phil. I remember calling a round 1 game between these very two teams, and I thought I was going to see 100 put on the board. Parramatta was beyond pathetic, and this is a very different team to that, because in that first round game, so some thumb through my notes here, it was back on the 9th of March, and it was 46-6 at half-time to Melbourne. They'd scored 8 tries in the first half, ended up winning 56-18, but it was embarrassing. And this team, under Jason Riles, as you're right, come a very long way. Kath from Kingaroy, good evening. Andrew, Matthew and Rowan. I don't believe I'm watching the same team. My beloved Parramatta Eels from just a few weeks ago. Amazing what having Mitch Moses back in the team has done to their morale. I don't expect them to make the finals this year, but it's sure looking good for next year. Yeah, they're definitely not going to play finals this year, but gee, they seem on track, don't they, Kath? Dave in the cab wonders if Riley Smith will exceed Cam McInnes' 80 tackles in a game last year. Well, I'll give you the update.
Well, he's not on the field now, Andrew. He had to have a break, but
yeah.
I tell you what, he was making more than a tackle a minute.
Riley Smith, why is it when you're looking for one particular player under pressure? 32 tackles in the first half in the time he's on the field. It is half-time, and it's 10-4, Melbourne leading Parramatta. You with Matt Elliott, Ruan Sims. I'm Andrew Moore. Hope you're enjoying the Thursday night footy here on ABC Sport. Around the grounds in the AFL game at Docklands, it's now the Western Bulldogs 80, leading GWS Giants 14. Incredible scoreline. Let's head right now to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The Prime Minister says the government will recognise a Palestinian state when it believes it would contribute to reaching a two-state solution with Israel. The government is weighing up when to take the step after France, the UK and Canada signalled their intention to recognise Palestine at the UN General Assembly in September. Anthony Albanese says it's a decision which can only be made once and would reduce the bargaining power over other issues in the region.
You lose your capacity to negotiate and to influence outcomes to some extent. So it will be based upon not whether a timeline is reached, but whether an objective is reached.
Shadow Indigenous Australians Minister Karen Little says she's willing to work with the Minister to improve outcomes of First Nations people. The latest Closing the Gap report shows only 4 out of 19 targets are on track, with youth detention and adult incarceration among the 8 targets going backwards. Senator Little says she's disappointed by the results, but not surprised.
What I'm concerned about is greater addressing of the drivers. I think when people end up in custody, we've already failed them. We need to do more because we do know what the drivers are of people going into prison, and those drivers need greater attention.
A Sydney out-of-school hours care worker has been accused of producing child abuse material involving 10 children under his care. David James was charged with 13 offences in October, but the allegations had been suppressed by the court until today. Federal Police allege the 26-year-old took explicit photos of the children aged between 5 and 6 across 6 different centres in Sydney's north and the CBD. The man was also a former employee of New South Wales Police, but it's understood the alleged offending is not related to his previous role with the force. Acting Assistant Commissioner Brett James says a full list of the 58 centres the man worked at can be found on the AFP website.
It's very important for me to reassure parents and carers in the community about this investigation. If you have not heard from the AFP, it is because we have no evidence which has linked your family to this man's offending. It is important to note that this man remains in custody.
Scientists are racing to protect the Australian giant cuttlefish as a growing marine algal bloom threatens the species. Every year, more than 100,000 cuttlefish migrate to South Australia to breed, the only place in the world where it's been observed. While the algae is yet to reach the breeding ground, plans are underway to harvest the eggs and raise them in relative safety. Marine ecologist Manny Katz says collecting every egg would be an impossible task, but harvesting a portion is a realistic and worthwhile effort.
I think the idea to collect some eggs for a future deployment or, I guess, reestablishment program is a great idea. I don't think it'll be possible to collect all the eggs. I just think that's a huge undertaking. I don't think it's within the realm of possibility.
A man has been sentenced to 3 years and 2 months in prison over a fatal minibus crash in the New South Wales Central West. Hamish Cole reports.
34-year-old Scott Death appeared in the Orange District Court today after earlier pleading guilty to 6 offences, including dangerous driving, occasioning death. The court heard in December 2023, Death collided with the Cowra Bowling Club courtesy bus, throwing 84-year-old Raymond Paget from the vehicle. He died at the scene while 5 other people in the vehicle were injured. While handing down her judgment, Magistrate Penny Musgrave said that Mr. Paget was a loving father and a great mate. Death will be eligible for parole in 14 months' time and was heard telling family, "See yous in a year," as he left court.
Myanmar's military junta says it's ending a state of emergency put in place 4.5 years ago when it ousted the elected government. It also plans to hold elections in December, as the BBC's Jonathan Head reports.
Ever since it launched a coup against the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi 4 years ago, Myanmar's military has tried to legitimise its rule by declaring a state of emergency. Under the constitution, which was written by a military regime and is still viewed as important by the generals, each state of emergency lasts 6 months. It's been extended 8 times since the coup, as the junta has struggled to contain a wave of popular opposition across Myanmar, which has evolved into multiple armed insurgencies.
That's all for the moment, but for more news at any time, you can download the ABC Listen app.
You meet the most interesting people on Sunday morning.
I'll tell you what, I'd kill for some clean air and a good coffee over here, and there's no generic latte over here.
Come home straight away, please. Join the rest of Australia right here on Sunday morning. Australia All Over on ABC Radio.
Rugby Union's greatest tour is here. ABC Sport has all the live action of every British and Irish Lions game in Australia. Look for the Sports Extra button on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
Munster, crossfield kick, close to the goal line, up they go. Katoa comes down with it, and I'll back him to score every day of the week. He scores 1 million of these tries. Perfect kick by Munster, perfect take by Katoa, and the 27th tackles the charm. Goes left to Moses, then to Hawkins, then away to Papali. Links up with Russell to Addo-Carr. He dives underneath Anderson. Does he get it down? Josh Addo-Carr does. Try to the Parramatta Eels. And I tell you what, ever since leaving the Melbourne Storm, Josh Addo-Carr has haunted them. Plays the ball to Grant. Melbourne looking to get a roll on here. Comes right, Carmagatha. He's straight through, paper thin defence, and he's over to score the try with 6 minutes left in the first half. And Tui Kamakamitha, he's able to score. And to the Parramatta defence, he said, Badaka Baka Levu.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Matt Elliott is here, Ruan Sims. I'm Andrew Moore on ABC Sport. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4. Might be odd to say with the lead, Matty, but Melbourne's attackers looked a little bit insipid tonight. Now, that might be also big credit to the Parramatta defence that has aimed up for the most part since the opening whistle. What have you made of their attack, Melbourne?
Yeah, Andrew, they haven't looked potent at all. When you consider they've scored one try off a kick after 27 tackles in possession in a row, and their second try was off Harry Grant, and again they'd had 3 repeat sets. So that, look, I'm not going to say it's really bad, but it's not as potent as we normally get to see it, particularly with the absence of Jerome Hughes. I would say Parramatta have looked far more dangerous with the ball, but as you pointed out in the call, they've had 3 or 4 occasions where they've just come up with a loose pass, and they've let Melbourne off the hook rather than Melbourne forcing an error or coming up with some brilliant defensive play.
And their discipline lapses have come in clumps too, haven't they? Whether it be set restarts or penalties.
Absolutely, and again, as much as we're saying Melbourne aren't playing their best footy, you can't afford to do it against a team like Melbourne.
Yeah.
They'll make you pay.
On the text line, 0467 920 222. Joyce is Andrew. I told the boys last week, nickname for Moses the lawyer. He quotes the rules to the ref. Big Daddy at Coffs Harbour, Andrew, Matthew and Roo. Could you tell me what happened to Matthew John's 2 boys? Are they still playing or do they not make first grade? I remember them calling them in Mudgee a couple of years ago and they played against each other, Manly and Newcastle. But I don't think Jack or Cooper play anymore. I know Cooper definitely doesn't. He's working in the media these days. Maureen Crew, when you mix a storm with an eel, it's going to be electric, baby. From Dubbo Dragon. Loving the call, especially Roo. Hopefully the storm get up. That's Charlie in Far North Queensland. Let's go the Broncos. Getting in early for this Sunday's first thought and saying the mighty Melbourne Storm for this year's premiership. Regards a good calling from the Tarrauga Tiger. Ant from Leven says, hi, Maury Padre and lovely Roo. Storm at the Cattle to get the job done in the second 40. And Nick says, I don't get it. Nick Meaney is an elite goal kicker up there with the best of them. Why is Pat's kicking for the Storm? I'm sure Pappenhausen was kicking before he got injured, but I tend to agree with Nick. Nick Meaney's a very good goal kicker.
I agree, and we've got a little bit of evidence tonight that Paps isn't really striking the ball like he'd like to.
Mind you, a double upright in one kick, that's fair.
Adjacent to the
post.
adjacent
to the post. Andrew and team have had a double ear infection for the last week, to the point where I wasn't able to enjoy the Eels. Now I'm slowly getting better, but we'll be happy with whatever happens as the team continues to improve week in, week out. Looking forward to the future with the Eels under Jason Riles. Good on you, Parramatta. Rachel, that's awful. I used to suffer from ear infections all the time. That sucks. So I hope you're doing better, and good luck to your Eels for the second half. And while on illness-related things, a shout-out to my boy, my son Archie, who for the last week has been confined to his bedroom with COVID, and he's been feeling crook, and he's getting beyond frustrated with his isolation that the family's imposed on him. So I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
You didn't say that. You said you grounded him.
I haven't grounded him, but I'm not letting him outside his bedroom door.
That's tough. I do feel for Archie.
It's almost there. It was a very thin line today.
Oh.
But Archie's one of those boys that gets a cold and it's there for like 10 days, not 2 days.
Oh, well, that's genetic.
Always has been. What does that mean?
I'm a little bit sick.
Oh, don't talk about Janine that way. That's ridiculous. Half-time in the AFL, and as the Western Bulldogs 81, leading the GWS Giants 20, as the Bulldogs try to fight their way into the top 8. And in the cricket test of the Oval, day 1 of the 5th test, England winning the toss, sending India into bat. The Indians are 1 for 33. I don't know whether you've caught any of that. I've been glued to it, Padre, that test series, England and India. It's been amazing. And, you know, we're in the day of 3-day test matches. Everyone's gone pretty much down to the wire on day 5.
Yeah, and then no handshakes as well.
Oh, there's been all of that, and let's bat on, even though the game's...
It's part of my life.
Hundreds.
Hanging with you. No handshake. I get a cuddle.
You do get a cuddle. I like our man cuddles. Parramatta's onto the field, joining the Melbourne Storm at the northern end of the ground, Parramatta to the southern end. So what happens next? 10 points to 4 in favour of Melbourne. Let's check it on the touchline, Ruan. What are you thinking heading into this second half?
Well, I'm down here wheeling wheeling and dealing, so I'm nowhere near Ralphie Tucker. But I tell you what, I've got some updates from half-time from the Storm. Craig Bellamy just wants them to tidy up their discipline and have better options on the fifth tackle. Jason Rolls very happy with their first half, unhappy with the errors, and wants them to finish their sets a bit more cleanly, especially down that left edge.
Doing a West Wing style walk and talk. Ruan Sims down the western touchline. Here's the kick-off for the Melbourne Storm. Have it 16 out from their own line and 10 in from the eastern touchline. And there's Tuakama Kamitha who looks hurt. He's struggling to get to his feet. In fact, can't get off his knees. Tui. And he's not another shoulder injury. He's trying to shake it off with his left arm at the moment. Time off. First tackle of the second half. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4. And now he plays it, but the only problem is you've got to wait for the referee to blow time back on. And what's going on here?
You can see he just led with his right shoulder. And
hang on.
Well, that's what it is.
So Will Benson, he's placed a report. Would that be for what, a chicken wing? So a penalty right from the get-go to the Melbourne Storm to start this second half.
Oh, it is a bit of a chicken wing, but it's not a severe chicken wing, Andrew. It's more like this. See?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to get put on a report for that. The people aren't going to hear about that one, are they?
Oh, only if they're listening. So no. Here's the tap. Taken. Sean Blaw's going to be tackled 6 metres short of halfway.
I've had to dodge a few pens.
Ball's going to be played 20 in from the eastern touchline. Grant goes right to Munster. Back on the inside to King. Yeah, you talk about me throwing pens, which I haven't done in about 8 years. I still remember you pelting me with chocolate Easter eggs at Prince Park. Comes to the right now. Centre field. Melbourne has it 5 metres inside Parramatta territory. Chan is tackled. He plays the ball to Grant. Goes right to Katoa. And Hawkins there to make the tackle with Jack Williams. 32 out from the Eels line. And 15 in from the western touchline. It's played to Grant. Goes left to Wishart at the line. He offloads to Munster. Turns it back on the inside to Howarth. He's dragged down 30 away from the goal line. Last tackle Melbourne. Grant from dummy half. Turns it short side left to Munster. He puts in a stab kick. And it's picked up at the back by Joash Papali. And he's knocked to the ground. 10 metres out from his own line and 5 in from touch eastern side. Played to Moses. Sends it open side left to Lomax. Caught 18 out from his own line. Melbourne 10. Parramatta 4. Just getting started. Second half Thursday night footy on ABC Sport. It's at O'Carr centre field. He straightens into Katoa and King. 27 out from his own line. Also in there was Grant. Played to De Silva. Goes left edge this time. And it's a good run by Williams. Gets to within 12 of halfway, Jack Williams. 20 in from the western touchline to Silva. Open side right to Walker, away to Barlaw. He spins in a 3-man tackle featuring Blaw and Grant. And he's caught a metre short of halfway. Last tackle Parramatta. It's played to De Silva. Goes right to Moses. 2 short of halfway. Drills a kick down to Pappenhausen. Fields it on the full. 6 out from his own line. He looked to pass the left to right, but there's no one within 40 metres of him. Grant Anderson was the closest, and he was almost at the Parramatta Leagues Club. So now instead it comes back on the inside to Xavier Coates. Now they work it right Wishart. Nailed 21 out from his own line for Melbourne. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4, 2 minutes 30 gone second half. Ball played in the short side right to Anderson, who strolled through Hawkins, but now claimed by Williams. 31 out from his own goal line, and also in there was De Silva. Back centre field it comes to Mini. He's taken 12 short of halfway. Melbourne with it with this 10-4 lead. Played to Grant. He'll go left edge this time. And trying to break the line, but unsuccessfully was Joey Chan on halfway. Played on the last. Comes right to Wishart. The kick from 49 metres out down to Joash Papali. He catches it 16 out from his own line. Great chase by Melbourne. And he's going to be held about 27 out from his own goal line. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4 here at Western Sydney Stadium. 3 gone second half. As now it comes right edge to Lomax Matthew. And it's a penalty against Melbourne inside the 10. And the penalty count now 6-5 in front of the Eels.
Yeah, and a bit of argy-bargy after that penalty there, but a very conservative start by both teams in this second half. So we see Parramatta definitely on the end of Mitch Moses' boot here will get some good field position. Will they test this right side defensive unit of the Melbourne Storm out yet again?
It is a good kick, Matthew, and he finds touch 30 metres out from the Melbourne line, eastern side. Will Benson will take the tap for Parramatta. Sends it left to Walker, away to Junior Barlaw. Up the middle he goes into Chan and Karma Kamitha. 25 out from the goal line. Plays the ball now to De Silva. Dummies goes himself and flung. He's
Going to say to the deck, it took a while for Joe Chan to bring him down. He does eventually. 12 out from the Melbourne line. Parramatta on the attack, down by 6. Comes left, Walker away. Linked up with Dury. He's claimed 7 metres out from the Melbourne line. Plays the ball now to Silva. Comes left to Hawkins. Short ball, Jack Williams, but the defence is there. Mainly Howarth and Wishart. Stood in the tackle, 5 out. Played to the Silva. Goes himself short side left. Quarter metre out from the line. Last tackle, Parramatta. Northwest corner. Adokar dummy half. Loopy pass away. Hawkins then to Papali. At the line, he offloads to Moses. Then a short ball away to Guymer into a bit of space. Can he link up Guymer? He's still got the ball. He's over the line. Charlie Guymer is over. It was touched by Melbourne on shore. 6 more, says the ref. And he also says, try to Charlie Guymer. What an effort. 4 minutes 50 gone second half. Eels hit back. Melbourne 10. Parramatta 8. Kick to come from about 10 in from touch.
Yeah, last play, Andrew, they shift right off the left-hand short side. Mitch Moses does a good job here of identifying space there. Gets it to Guymer, who tries to pass the ball to the right side. I think it was Zach Lomax, I think, but just trying to see the Melbourne Storm player that actually went for the intercept here.
It was Coates.
It was Coates, yeah. Oh, what a great catch there by Guymer. That's
not only was the reflex of the catch from the Coates touch incredible on the juggle, millimetres from the ground, so was the put down, despite the presence of Munster and Pappenhausen. What an effort. Touchline, Ruan said.
That was absolutely spectacular, but I tell you what, it was also the work of Papali through the middle. He actually linked so beautifully between Hawkins and Moses. He allowed Moses to sit a little bit wider, then Moses could actually take the line on and position Guymer. Look at this. This worked from the fullback. You just see him skip out there, get the middle defence really, really interested, and it allows Moses to put Guymer through that gap, and that is some kind of silky skills by Guymer.
They're still looking at it in the bunker. Tries been allowed by the referee. Referee says time off. I don't think this is for an official bunker check. The only question mark would be the grounding.
Yeah, it was a great catch. You talked about the cricket, Andrew. That was like an amazing catch in the gully there. But they're just looking as to whether he got the ball down. That's
well, there's no clear sign on the replays we've seen that he did get it down. The touch judge, Zbigniew Radamski, was pointing to the ground, saying he did. He had a view of it. And now, does he get that down? He does in the end. He did really well. Charlie Guymer. And now Lomax has been given the all-clear to attempt the conversion. 23 metres out, 8 metres in from the eastern touchline. 6 minutes and 9 seconds gone second half. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 8. And Lomax, who's missed with his only shot off the upright, has a tough chance to level the scores. Well within his range, of course. That's from State of Origin. Sorry, Nancy, to bring that up. No, that brings you great joy. He's a happy, happy Queenslander. Here comes Lomax to level it up. He strikes at Zach Lomax, heading towards the post. It's a shocker. That missed by about 20 metres.
That's your fault.
That's across the face, no goal. How's that my fault? That was just a direct...
He heard you mention Origin from that other side of the field. I saw his head go down.
Wow. He's got good hearing, if not good goal kicking. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 8. 6 minutes, 16 gone second half. You wonder how crucial those misses are going to be.
Absolutely.
And, but equally, Pappenhausen's missed two. He should have kicked.
Missed 2 easy ones, but again, this is going to be a game where, you know, those subtleties make a big difference.
10-8, Melbourne leads Parramatta. Here's the kick-off coming from Ryan Pappenhausen down to the southern end in goal area. Taken by Hawkins, almost on the goal line. Gives it right to Junior Barlaw. And he's going to be taken by Karma Kamitha. And King, 15 out for the Parramatta line. Plays the ball to Silva. Goes right, Walker to Moses, to Papali. Then away to Lomax, just one in off the wing. And he's bent head on there by Howard. 23 out for the Parramatta line. And 8 in from touch eastern side. Played to Papali. Goes left to Will Benson. He scored on the Parramatta 30-metre line. 16 in from touch eastern side. Played to Silva. Short to right to Guymer. He scored 10 short of halfway. 10 in from touch on play 4. To Silva. Works it to the left. Dury away to Walker. Runs into the imposing figure of Kamitha. Stands in the tackle just short of halfway and plays it on the last. Silver goes right. Moses the kick. A metre short of halfway. Down to the left wing of Xavier Coates. Ooh, he had the stamina there, but he takes it on the full. And now he's met by the chase of Dury and Barlaw. 21 metres out for the Melbourne goal line. Melbourne with it, leading 10-8. 7 minutes 30 on second half. Long ball goes right here. And it goes from Munster away to Wishart, flung to the ground, 26 metres out from the Melbourne line. Played to Pappenhausen, sends it open side left to Anderson. He's going to be caught 32 out from his own line. 3 defenders in there, including Dylan Walker, Sean Russell and Talon De Silva. Now centre field. Katoa's going to be caught 9 metres short of halfway for Melbourne. Stood in the tackle, plays the ball to Grant, goes left away to the edge to Joey Chan. Good strong run, bounced away from Guymer. Now caught on halfway, plays it on the last to Grant. Goes short side left of Munster. Up she goes from 45 metres out. Down to Joash Papali. Drifts to his left, never looked comfortable. Does take it inches off the ground. And now he's caught in centre field, 18 out from his own line. So 8 gone second half. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 8. Moses dummy. Sends the ball right, and Russell loses the ball behind him. Picked up by Hawkins. Goes to the right end, Bensony, and he tackled 22 out from his own line. He would have had a nervous moment or two there, Sean Russell. Has the ball and taking off from dummy half Moses into some offside markers. Then he's dragged to the ground ball and all from behind by the chase of Glaw. And it's finally a penalty. He earned that, Mitch Moses. Penalty goes to the Parramatta Eels. Their 7th of the night. And it's 14 short of halfway. 15 in from the eastern touchline. Melbourne up 10-8, but Parramatta should get good field position here again.
Yeah, for the second time in the game, Andrew, Mitch Moses actually understands as a player offside. He actually gets hit high as well, but the penalty wasn't for that. It was for offside. Parramatta looking far more threatening in possession than the Melbourne Storm. Can they convert it to points here, mate?
Bensony the tap, 35 metres out. Comes open side left for Parramatta. Driving run by Matt Dury. Stands in the tackle of Kamitha, 25 away. Played to De Silva. Goes left, Walker to Barlaw. Grant meets him first. Puts the ground, 15 out from the goal line. He'll play the ball now to De Silva. Dummies left. Goes right to Walker. Plays it. Is that a forward pass? No, says the referee. As the Eels are 7 metres out for the goal line. Down by 10-8, but on the attack to Silva. Back to the left. Centre field Barlaw. Hit and spins a shot. And is picked up by Cam Munster. We've seen this, Ruan, way too often from Parramatta. Melbourne have it back. 10 out from their own goal line. Down to the touchline, Roo.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to Ralphie. We were just sort of discussing some of the errors that we've seen throughout this game, and Zach Lomax had one that he got away with there, but the coach wouldn't be happy with that, especially when you compound that with a penalty to the Melbourne Storm.
It's what they do all the time, Parramatta. So it's a penalty to Melbourne. They make a silly mistake, then they give away the penalty, and they just present Melbourne the chance to go downfield. We've seen it from the first minute now to the 51st.
Yeah, Andrew, and while it's a feature of the play, we sit here and we're watching who looks the most potent in possession. It's Parramatta for me. They're creating opportunities, but they're just not converting it through really poor decisions by individuals.
Tap taken on halfway, and Meany's caught 7 metres in Parramatta territory by Russell, and also in there was Williams. Now they play at Wishart. Goes centre field left to Chan. Dury is one of a couple of defenders to hold him up with Guymer. 40 out from the Parramatta line. Grant. Short ball left to King away. Then through hands. Munster linked up with Blaw. He goes without it, and it's stolen. Parramatta comes away with it through Dylan Walker, and he's caught 34 out from his own line. So now a mistake from Melbourne. I can't see Craig Bellamy from here. They're in the box next door, but it's all there's barriers in the road.
He's in the corridor, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sure he is out the back there. 8 short of halfway, Parramatta. As Williams plays it, it comes centre field right. Lomax hits it up to within 2 of halfway. Sam Taivedi on the field now for Parramatta as well, as Dury hits it up. Caught 6 metres in Melbourne territory. Eels with it down 10-8. 2 tackles left this set. Played to De Silva. Goes left to Moses. Out the back to Hawkins. Short ball Williams. And Katoa comes across with Wishart. He stands in the tackle. 31 out from the goal line. Bringing up the last. It comes right. Walker. Then to the deep set Moses. Puts in the crossfield kick from 28 metres out. They're flying through, but it's caught by Coates. He just couldn't quite get there in time, Lomax. But then the ball comes out the back, and Lomax it is. It's came off his hand, and it's a knock on Parramatta.
So Melbourne will get a scrum, 10 out from their own line with 28 minutes to play. Melbourne leading 10-8. He tried all he could there, Zach Lomax.
Yeah, he tried to go for a one-on-one steal after getting Xavier Coates, and he wasn't far off having success there. He just needed to pop that ball. Hang on.
You got to get that cleaned up, mate. Shot clock off. Get that cleaned up.
Oh, sorry, I've got to go. I've got to get cleaned up, mate. I'll be back.
It might take him more than a time out. But that Parramatta player, I think it's Dury, getting blood wiped off his melon. On the text line, 0467 920 222. Shane says that was more of a tenderloin than a chicken wing. Put the whistle away, let him play. Maury Matty Rue, it's going to be a big match like when you go to the market and they show their wares. Parramatta is going to show their wares with Fox and Mose in the final 40 and win this by 7. Turn ABC up, it can fix your ear infection, says Darren from Brisbane, who had to go Manly. And here's the scrum feed now for Melbourne. 10 out from their own goal line. It goes right from Grant to Anderson, wrapped up by Hawkins and Russell. 14 out from the Melbourne line. Storm 10, Eels 8 after leading 10-4 at half-time. Now Karma Kamitha is going to be caught about 17 out from his own goal line. Held is finally the call as he shoved back about 13 out from his own line. And then he's got to move bit to the right. He does. Plays it to Grant, and then Karma Kamitha comes straight off the field for the Melbourne Storm to be replaced now by Bronson Garlick, who's on for the first time. Grant sends the ball centre field left. Melbourne up to their own 30 and beyond. And that's a good strong run by Utoy Gaman, who's just come back on the field. Grant, he goes right to Garlick, and he's wrapped up 8 metres short of halfway. Last tackle, Melbourne. Played to Grant, goes left to Munster. Just outside his 40, left foot kick, goes down to the wing of Lomax, fields it, 15 out from his own line, sets sail over the 20, into the chase headed by Bloor, and he'll play 31 out from his own line for Parramatta. Dury is coming from the field. He looks not Cam McInnes-esque, but like a warrior. Blood coming out of his face, right leg so heavily strapped. But he's been very good again for the Eels. Now Lomax centre field. He's caught 5 short of halfway. Jermaine Hopgood is back on for Parramatta. Ball played now to De Silva. Goes left to Hopgood. Out the back, Hawkins away to Williams. And Jack Williams is taken by Wishart and 2 others. 8 metres in Melbourne territory. Played to De Silva. Short side left to Hawkins. Then away to Russell. The defence is there, and flying through is Joash Papali to his left. He played on the last 28 out from the Melbourne goal line to De Silva. Moses the bomb from 29 metres out. Coates coming in after it. Walker hits the deck. Munster hits the deck. Penalty Parramatta against Cam Munster.
Come across, mate. Cameron Munster, he comes across, runs in that score line.
This is right in front of the sticks for Parramatta to level the scores.
What are you doing?
They're going to challenge.
Okay. Melbourne challenging the ruling in escort by Cameron Munster.
I actually agree with Cameron Munster. I just think he was heading in the direction of the play there. So I'll be interested to see what the bunker comes up with here, because if you just watch the replay there.
Let's look at the run here with Cameron Munster.
So Munster's definitely moving in the direction of the ball. But then he kind of stops and turns his back on Dylan Walker. He ended up nearly finishing worse off, Cam Munster.
Yeah,
he felt very awkward.
You can't evaporate.
Run directly back towards the ball and take up a position early.
But then he did stop, looked at Dylan Walker.
There was a few eyeballs there, yes. I take it.
I reckon that's at the same time and takes out the eel. The challenge is unsuccessful.
And so it's an unsuccessful challenge. It is a penalty to Parramatta, Ruan Sims. And also Cam Munster, as he hit the deck there, grabbed his left hamstring or somewhere in that range. That would be a worry for me as well, as Parramatta's about to take a shot to level it up.
Yeah, that may have been the case, but he seems to be walking around on it quite okay now. He's obviously disappointed with losing that challenge, but if he'd gotten there a step earlier, he would have actually had a case. But unfortunately, he just arrived a tad too late. And I tell you what, though, Dylan Walker, he sold that one. He sold it beautifully.
Part of the deal now, isn't it?
But if you have a look at the player that's running through and you stop, like, he couldn't have really changed his trajectory, but he actually looked at Dylan Walker and got in the way.
He did. Yeah, they got it right. Here's Lomax, 10 out, right in front, kicks the goal. His first of the night. He's 1 from 3, as is
Ryan Pappenhausen. But brace yourselves, we've got 25 minutes to go, and it's now Parramatta 10, Melbourne 10. Thursday Night Rugby League on ABC Sport around the grounds. Third quarter underway. In the AFL, Western Bulldogs 81, smashing the GWS Giants 20 at Docklands. Guys, question, when is team awarded a set restart or penalty, Ron and Foster? We answer this every week, Ronnie, and it is confusing for people. You are awarded a penalty if the infringement occurs inside your 40-metre line. If you've got the ball and the team is inside the 10, for example, it's a penalty, not a set restart. The only alternative to that is if you're on the other side of the field, if you get a set restart and then lose possession in that play, it will come back instead of a set restart to be a penalty. But at all other times, it's a 6 again. It's Parramatta from the kick-off, have a 12 out from their own line. I know some people don't like it. I love the rule. I think we forget how annoying 25 penalties in a game was. There's Parramatta inside the 20. But again, I'm probably not even in the majority there. Here's Hopgood, short ball away, Guymer. Caught 25 out from his own goal line. 2 tries each, 1 goal each, 10 points each. As Moses turns it into Will Bensony. He's tackled 14 short of halfway. 20 in from touch on the eastern side. Played to De Silva. Goes left to Walker with a short ball away. This time to Sam Taividi, who's caught just short of halfway, centre of the field. Grant the tackle. Last play to Silva. Goes right to Moses. Kicks from halfway. This is down to Pappenhausen. Takes it on the full. 10 out from his own goal line. Then turn the pass on the inside to Anderson. And Grant Anderson seems to make metres into the defence every single time he hits it up in whatever circumstance. Here he's claimed 24 out from his own line. Plays it to Wishart. Goes left to Mini. Centre of the ground. He's taken by 3 defenders, including Taividi and Guymer. Now dummy half Grant. Works it left to Chan. He's wrapped up. Or was that Coates? It's Coates. 15 short of halfway. Played to Grant. Comes back to the right. Melbourne Storm with the footy. More brutal defence this time on Garlick. 5 short of halfway. Coming from the second rower, Jack Williams. Pappenhausen. Brilliant flick pass out the back to Grant. Then he loses the ball. Backwards, says the referee. Played on the last. Comes to the left. Munster. Plenty of room to move. Puts a left foot kick over the top behind Lomax, but it's over the touchline in the southeast corner. 4 out from the Parramatta line, meaning it play the ball for the Eels. 10 out from their own line. 17 minutes 30 gone second half. Eels and Storm locked at 10.
Yeah, and I still ask the question, the Storm are creating a really good foundation. Their sets getting forward well, but I just can't see any threat. I can't see anyone looking like they're going to break this game open for them. But on the other side of things, Parramatta looking dangerous with the ball, particularly Dylan Walker going at the line.
Now it's Hawkins dummy half. He sends the ball open side right. 20 out from their own line is where Lomax is tackled in from the other wing. Short side left to Jack Williams. And Williams is going to be taken. Anderson was in there, so too. For Melbourne was Katoa and Wishart. Now on the next play they go centre field right to Jermaine Hopgood. Taken by Utoi Kamano and Grant and Garlick. 14 short of halfway. Parramatta with a 10 all it is. De Silva goes right to Walker. Lovely quick ball away to Taividi. He's caught a metre in Melbourne territory. Quick play the ball on the last. It comes to the right to running Moses back himself. Caught from behind. Pappenhausen comes away with it for Melbourne. Again, good idea, but down she went, and now a dreadful tackle attempt on Talon De Silva. Just let him go, and Pappenhausen advances the ball another 10 metres. He'll play it. 33 out from his own line. Munster takes off from dummy half, and he's going to be held 10 metres short of halfway. 21 to go. 10 all the scorers. Melbourne take it up to within 2 of halfway, Padre.
What about Mitch Moses, Andrew? You just forget how quick he is. His speed through the middle of the park there and his ability to identify the vulnerability of Melbourne Storm on last plays, Andrew. That's just the second time he's got them.
You're more vulnerable if you hold the footy. 33 metres out. Grant plays the ball to Pappenhausen. Comes with Munster back on the inside, or Wishart dragged down 18 out. Last tackle Melbourne. It's played to Grant. Goes left to Munster. Runs at the line. Puts on a stab kick. Oh, what a pick-up off the half volley by Joash Papali. But a Melbourne player's been taken out off the ball, and a penalty goes to the Melbourne Storm. Gee, that takes away the great work from Joash Papali.
See where the ball bounces, that's where the penalty is, and you can tell me about the 2.
10 all. And it was a right foot kick from the left-footed Munster, and it's Mitch Moses just pumping his way into the Melbourne player, Sean Bloor, off the ball, a blatant penalty.
A dumb penalty, Andrew. He didn't need to do that. And what about the magical pick up there from Papa? He just was brilliant. Got back into the field of play. Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here, aren't they, Parramatta?
20 minutes gone, 20 minutes left second half. Parramatta 10, Melbourne 10, and Ryan Pappenhausen will line up this shot about 12 in from the eastern touchline. We go to the other side of the field and Ruan Sims.
Well, I know that earlier you guys were talking about how quick Mitch Moses is, but I tell you what, he tried to take that line on down there previously when they had the ball because he thought people were offside. And unfortunately, the referee didn't call it. And then he complained to the referee, and then down here he compounds that error with giving away a penalty. He really needs to get a little bit of control back here, Moses, and just get back into the plan that was keeping them in this game.
The text line, Andrew, one thing Riles learned from Bellamy is how to react to errors by his team, says Paul in Wollongong. Yeah, we don't have a side of him either, but I get why he's frustrated. He knows this team could be winning this game tonight, but discipline or ball control at crucial times. Here's Pappenhausen, 20 out, 12 in from the eastern touchline to reclaim the lead from Melbourne, but he's kicked just 1 from 3. Inside 19 minutes to go. Here he comes, Pappenhausen with the right boot. He strikes it. It's a shocker. It's across the face, taken in goal by Katoa, and that's where he's put to the ground. He's 1 out of 4, Pappenhausen. I'm with that earlier text message of Nick, I think it was. Give Mini a chance. 10 all it remains. Line drop out Eels.
And just to add to that, Andrew, you can even hear it off the boot. Every time he strikes the ball, it doesn't sound right, does it? And his trajectory through the Eels, also was flying into the crowd.
Moses goes deep again. Oh, gee, hasn't he made contact? It goes 59 metres on the full. Dropped by Pappenhausen, albeit behind him. Picks it up, gives it away to his left. And now the tackle made on Utoiga Manu, 41 out from the Parramatta line. Munster dummy half. Oh, they've gone without it. It's a drop ball coming from the Melbourne Storm's Lasati just back on the field. And Craig Bellamy goes Popeyes to the back of the box. Scrum feed, Parramatta 11 short of halfway. Ruan, is this a case of whoever has some composure in this last quarter of the game wins?
That, and also who's got the best grip spray, sticky stuff. They need to get it out there because it is getting more and more dewy underfoot. But unfortunately there, Lasati straight back on the field. He just thought about what he was going to do before he actually caught the football.
So now we're going to have it fed a second time. Love that stuff. England's taken another wicket against India. Now 2 for 38 India. KL Rahul bowled by Chris Wokes for 14. Parramatta wins the scrum. Goes right to Will Benson. He tackled 7 short of halfway. Another goal for the Bulldogs in the AFL. Western Bulldogs 90, leading the Giants 27 in the third term as Parramatta hits it up to halfway. Diamond tackle, plays the ball to De Silva. Goes short side right away to Tavidi. He's tackled 8 metres in Melbourne territory. That'll be midway through the count. De Silva, centre field left, Moses, Hawkins, into Papali, links up with Lomax, he steps straight through Mini, wrapped up by Wishart, 26 out from the goal line, plays it quickly enough to Katoa, takes off from dummy half, jumps out of a Wishart tackle, and now put down 17 out. Last play, Parramatta, 10 all the score. Ball played, De Silva goes right to Walker, links up with Moses, then links up with Papali to Benson, he's going to be tackled on the last. And dragged to the ground, 6 metres out, 2 in from touch, and Wishart was, Munster was coming across there with Howarth in defence. Changeover, Melbourne gets the footy back. 5 out from their own line, 3 in from touch eastern side, 16 minutes to go. Parramatta 10, Melbourne 10. As now the Storm face a tough set. And the hit up from Xavier Coates, Matthew, caught on his own 10-metre line.
Yeah, good last play from Parramatta. Even though they got caught with the ball, they really got the Melbourne Storm trapped over there in that far eastern corner, and they're having a lot of trouble getting out of their own territory.
Now Melbourne, Law plays it to Grant, sends it right Lasati. He's caught 25 out from his own line, midway through the tackle count. Grant goes centre field right, through hands it goes. Wishart, then from Katoa, away to Mini. Lovely ball to Anderson down the western touchline. Easily beats Sean Russell, who comes back at him. Makes the tackle, 30 out and 2 in from touch western side. Anderson plays the ball to Wishart. Goes left to Pappenhausen, a long ball ball to Grant. Back on the inside, Munster. Munster away from one. Standing in the Hopgood and Guymer tackle. He'll play it on the last 24 metres out from the goal line to Grant. Comes to himself. Straight up the middle. Put in a stab kick. Off the body of De Silva. Dived on by Guymer. Again shows great hands for Parramatta. 17 out from the Eels line. 15 minutes to go. 10 all it remains as now Parramatta has it. And they work it right edge just outside their 20. A few hands on hips now too, Padre.
Yeah, fatigue's starting to take real grip of this game, Andrew, and it's a cue for Harry Grant as Melbourne get penalised.
Inside the 10 again, he's been vigilant about that ruling all night. Penalties by my tally, 8-7 to Parramatta. 33 out from the Eels line and 10 metres in from the eastern touch line. And that's an example because it was inside Parramatta's 40 while it's a penalty and not a set restart. Eels find touch 10 metres in Melbourne territory. Tap will be taken by Will Benson as Sam Tavidi comes from the field. Junior Barlaw back on. They need the captain out there. As from the tap, Parramatta 36 out from the line. Ball played by Hopgood to De Silva. Goes left to Walker to Barlaw. Runs through Chan. Now taken 28 metres out from the goal line. Garlick was in there with Grant and Lasati. Played De Silva. Goes left. Hawkins away to Williams. Taken by the centre Mini. Wishart there as well. 13 out for the Melbourne line. 3 tackles left for Parra. Comes to the right. Barlaw to Walker. Went to Hopgood. They lose it. Now Parramatta will give away a penalty. Nothing short. Jermaine Hopgood dropped the ball under very little pressure. 10 out from the goal line. And Ruan Sims on the touchline. The mistakes keep coming at the worst possible time for Parramatta.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's the fatigue that Matty Elliott was speaking about. Sometimes you just take your mind off what your main job is, and just having a look here on the sideline, that's obviously what Craig Bellamy is thinking, because Jonah Pezzett is on the sideline. Watch him with his footwork. He will be dangerous.
So scrum feed here for Melbourne. 14 out from their own line. 10 all the score. 13 and a half to go. So how is Jonah Pezzett used? Scrum 1. Comes to the right to Anderson. Wrapped up by Lomax and Hawkins. 16 out from the Melbourne line. And 18 in from touch western side. Grant dummy half. No centre field left as Melbourne work at 22 metres out from their own line. Ball played now by Garlick. Comes to the right edge. And Melbourne stuck 30 out from their own line. And Jonah Pezzett comes on the field now for the Melbourne Storm. As Melbourne has it in centre field. And the interchange official's supposed to raise the number so we can all see it. I think that's number 6 for them. Grant goes left. Short ball away up the middle. Tuagamanu dragged down around the ankles. 3 metres in Parramatta territory. Vital tackle there by Hopgood. Munster, no pressure on him. Left foot kick for Parley. Moves to his left. He takes it flying through the air. 10 metres out from his own line before he's put to the ground by Jonah Pezzett. Played to Addo Carr. Goes left to Lomax. And Lomax is going to be caught 18 out from his own line with 12 and a half to play. Eels and Storm 10 all. Now ball played to Hawkins. Goes left edge as the Eels work at 28 out from their own goal line. 3 tackles into the set. Williams plays the ball. Hawkins goes left to Addo Carr. And he's scored 13 metres short of halfway. With you until 10 o'clock. Your texts remain welcome. 0467 920 222. As Walker right up the middle. A bit of a settler. Held as the call. 6 short of halfway. Bring up the last. Where's Moses? To the right of De Silva. Gets it now. Puts boot the ball 6 short of halfway. Down to the left wing of Coates. Drifts back about 5 metres. Takes it on the full. 5 out from his own line. Rips back into the defence through Guymer. But now caught 22 out from his own goal line. Plays the ball quickly. Munster sends it right to Howard. He's caught outside his 30. 11 and a half left. 10 all the score. And Matty, I feel deep in my guts. These are the games Melbourne win. Pappenhausen. Short ball goes to the right edge. One-hander meant for Pezzett's knocked on by... Hello, referee. Referee. Mork calling Orson. They've said play on. And Meany's got it 10 metres in Parramatta territory. Pappenhausen to the left. Pezzett to Wishart. Pezzett's thinking, since I've been out of first grade, they've changed the knock-on rule. Now Tuagamanu straight through 3, 4. Left Russell. Great run by Tuagamanu. 25 metres out. 2 tackles left. Grant dummies inside. Goes outside to Wishart. Takes on the defence up the middle. Caught by Hopgood and Barlaw. 17 out from the line. Last tackle for Melbourne. Grant goes left. Pezzett. Out the back Munster. Crossfield kick. Coates and Lomax. Oh, what a cat! Xavier Coates! You can hear the whistle of Jared Sutton. How many times has he done that? Earlier we saw the Eliesa Katoa high ball show, and now a perfect kick for Xavier Coates. He scores, 10 and a half to go. Melbourne 14, Parramatta 10.
Yeah, Andrew, that's probably the best Storm set of the game, you know, from start to finish there. And what about Kamanu? What about his carry there? That gets him that momentum. Cam Munster then has time on that last play, and he puts the ball straight on Zach Lomax's head. And Xavier Coates, my goodness, that's not an easy jump to get over the top of Zach Lomax, but he does it with...
Well, he was about 3 foot above Zach Lomax. That's a brilliant catch and put down from Coates. Touchline, Ruan Sims.
Well, it was all about the timing there for the Melbourne Storm. He just checked his run perfectly, so he was able to actually hit the leaping at the same time, whereas Lomax was having to sort of shuffle backwards and was just having to come from a vertical jump from a standing start, which is so difficult, especially when you've got someone like Coates coming over with a perfect-looking AFL Mark-style catch, and he came down to the ground with it perfectly as well.
And now there is a change of goal kicker. Nick Mini takes over, with Ryan Pappenhausen just 1 from 4. And you know now he'll knock this over 6 in from touch to say, should have been doing this from the start. You reckon?
I don't reckon he's got that sort of attitude at all. I think he's a nice guy.
Nick Mini, he's a having attitude.
But you're right, Andrew. Why they actually changed the kickers is a little bit perplexing.
So Mini, 22 out, 6 in from touch. Melbourne 14, Parramatta 10. Still 9.25 minutes to go. Mini with the right boot. He strikes it, heading towards the post. He likes it, he kicks the goal. That was the most obvious thing in the world. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10, Thursday night footy on ABC Sport with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Third quarter of the AFL, Western Bulldogs 96, GWS Giants 40. On the text line. Loving the coverage, gang, on a Thursday night. You guys are legends. I'm in the shed enjoying the call and a cold one after putting the little ones to sleep. It's always a good moment, isn't it, JR? Joey and Newey, how did they miss the drop ball? Was I right thinking that was a knock-on or not?
No, you were egregious. You were completely wrong. It hit the hip of a Parramatta player, but I didn't want to say anything. Nick Mini just went and got in Pappenhausen's grill then too, by the way.
So now the crowd, we're just letting me know, 9,402. 9,402 as ball goes out the back. Melbourne do recover it, 4 out from their own line. But not the sort of play that would be pleasing the coach next door.
Officially at the back of the box, Andrew.
Is now the Storm on their own 10. Ball played to Grant, goes left to Josh King. Taken down low, 18 out from his own line by Hawkins. Now they're in centre field, Lasati. He scored 28 out from his own line. Good defensive set from Parramatta. Last play Melbourne, but they've got this 16-10 lead. Munster drills a kick down to Joash Papali. He drops back about 5 metres, takes it 16 out from his own line, heads over the 30, and he's going to be pushed backwards beyond the 30. He's absolutely ragdolled Joash Papali. And shoved back by Lasati mainly, 27 out from the Parramatta line. And now Lomax, he's got to get involved here, Lomax, but he scored on his own 30, then got the pass away to the Silver. He has got good here, Zach Lomax. He responded beautifully to Silver, 5 short of halfway, played to Moses, goes right to Bensity. He scored 6 metres in Melbourne's half, right on that eastern side. Plays the ball and they work it from right to left. Moses back centre field. Is that Moretti back on the field? Tackled 38 out from the goal line. He plays it to the Silver. Left to Hopgood away to Hawkins. Then Papali. Quick hands to Russell, but he'll be good. 23 out from the Melbourne line and 8 in from touch, western side. Last tackle, Parramatta down 16-10. Played to Adokar. Goes right at Hawkins with a rush kick. Down to Pappenhausen. He takes it. Hawkins takes him. 7 metres out from the Melbourne line, and he's lost the ball. Ryan Pappenhausen. Well, I'll tell you what, Dean Hawkins deserves credit there, Matthew Elliott. It was he who put up the kick. It was he who chased it, and it's because of his desperation that the knock-on comes from Pappenhausen, and that means Melbourne has to concede a scrum feed to Parramatta 10 metres out from the Melbourne line right in front of the six.
Yeah, big play from Hawkins, Andrew. Critical play, in fact. And here we see a scrum right in the middle of the field, 10 metres out from the Melbourne Storm try line. Can Parramatta get across the stripe here? Big set for Mitch Moses here.
So now the scrum to be fed by Hawkins. The Papali races to the right. Shot clock goes off, but doesn't matter. Comes away now to Joash Papali, but he runs right where the scrum was into Utoka Manu and Grant. About 8 metres out, Lasani there as well. Ball played to Silva. Short ball left to Barlaw, tackling 3 metres out from the line. 6.5 still to play. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10. To Silva, fires it on the open side right. Hawkins to Moses, plays out the back for Parley to Lomax. Cover comes, he's nailed, 2 metres out from the line. And coming across there was Howard. Plays the ball to Benson, goes left Moses, away to Moretti. Luca Moretti, strong run centre field, but Lasardi is there in defence, 5 metres away from the goal line with Grant. Played to De Silva, goes left to Moses, to Hawkins, but Mini was up in his face, ball on the ground, Hopgood recovers it, runs into Munster and Grant and Lasardi and taken 10 out. Last play, Parramatta. De Silva look left, goes right to Moses, then out the back for Parley. You've got to pass it, Joanne. Bounces away from one, sends a 25-metre pass left to Barlaw. Barlaw runs across field, links up with Keimer coming through. He gets a two-hander away to fair. Then Katoa De Silva drops it like he's got 10 thumbs. And then kicks it into Granville. So it's going to be a ball here for the Melbourne Storm. They'll play 20 out from their own line. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10, 5 minutes 13 to go, and Jason Riles is wondering about his career decisions at the moment.
Yeah, he is. What about Grant Anderson's come up with some big defensive plays in this game, Andrew? Because if that pass actually does stick, it looks like Parramatta are going to go close to scoring. He's probably done that 2 or 3 times already tonight.
He's such a player, isn't he, Grant Anderson? Here's Josh King for Melbourne. He's got on his own 30. And a great signing for the next few years for Brisbane. Pappenhausen dummy half. He sends it away left to Katoa. Tackle 13 short of halfway. How many chances will the Eels have left with 4 minutes 40 to go? Centre field to Utoka Manu. It's been enormous in his second stint. And he's taken here 5 short of halfway. Held is the call as he plays the ball to Grant. Grant look left, goes right to King. Josh King runs into Moretti and 2 others, including De Silva on halfway. Still 2 tackles left for Melbourne. Grant goes right to Wishart. Right foot step. Moretti can't bring him down. De Silva and Barlaw do. 37 out from the goal line. Last tackle Melbourne. Grant goes right. Pez at the kick. From 35 metres out. Towering there down to Papali. Anderson coming through. Papali flies above the pack. Great catch. 10 out from the Parramatta line. We go down to the touchline. Rowan Sims.
Well, that was a brilliant take by the young fullback. He had nothing but eyes for that ball. There were 6 Melbourne Storm jerseys bearing down on him. Takes that one cleanly for the Eels.
So now Parramatta with the ball, but deep in their own territory, and Lomax gains maybe 2 metres, scored 12 out from his own line. It's already 3 tackles in. He's got to go back a foot or 2.
Go, 3 grand!
Now played to De Silva. Goes left to Walker. It's a wasted tackle in centre field. 4 plays in. They're only on their own 20, the Eels. They're down 16-10. Now De Silva goes left to Hawkins. Out the back for Parley to Russell. He's caught 15 short of halfway. 5 in from touch western side. Last tackle for Parley goes right to Hawkins. He links up with Moses. Moses decides to run at the line over the 40. Then passes the cutout ball. Picked up on the bounce by Lomax down the right wing. And then he throws it forward. And Melbourne, well, they drop it between them. It doesn't matter. Melbourne will get the ball back because Parramatta's execution on these plays is not really good. 3 minutes to go. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10. And the Storm will get the footy about 13 short of halfway.
You're being polite there, Andrew. Parramatta on so many occasions during this game have got to last play, created opportunities and just come up with so many errors. Right. Jason Riles he'll be really proud of their effort, really proud of the way that they've tested a top 4 team, but not so happy with their skill, execution and vital plays.
No, well, they've had a big chance to win this game, but Melbourne, these are the games they find a way to win, isn't it? 5 short of halfway, Coates plays it. Comes right to Howard, wrapped up 7 metres in Parramatta territory. Plays the ball to Grant, comes to the right to Wishart, short ball to Josh King. He's met and dumped in centre field, 32 away from the Parramatta line with 2 minutes 16 to go. Parramatta may well only have 1 more set. Comes to the left, Utoka Manu. He's felled 27 out. Last play. What's the tactic here from Melbourne? Grant, he loses the ball. Oh, it's a penalty because... Oh, no, it's a...
Too late, mate.
So Grant...
You deliberately pick it up and just throw it into him. Time off.
It is a penalty to Parramatta. Luca Moretti was lying down in the ruck. And then Harry Grant is deemed to deliberately, from dummy half, thrown the ball into him.
And he did.
We did. And And Luca Moretti was just trying to mind his own beeswax. So now Mitch Moses finds touch with a beauty of a kick. And touch judge Chris Sutton raises the flag 40 out with a minute 44 to go. Tap taken by Adokar. Goes left to right to Silva to Moretti. Backs his way to within 33 of the goal line. And Parramatta clutch something here late to Silva. Goes right, Walker to Barlaw. Straight up the middle, taken easily, 30 out from the Melbourne line. Melbourne defence really aiming up. Finally off him, of the defenders, and it's played to the Silva. He goes right to Moses, short ball, Geimer. Tackles 16 out from the line. 3 tackles left for Parramatta. It's played to the Silva with a minute 12 to go. Left to Moses, away to Hawkins. Then to Williams. He's tackled 15 out. Make it 13 when he's finally tackled. 2 tackles to go. Played to Hawkins. Goes right to Moretti. Absolute waste. 4-10 out. Last play, Parramatta. Inside a minute to go. And Moretti's down. They can't even get a quick play of the ball. What's the merit of that?
He's trying to actually get a penalty.
No, not that. I mean the one-out hitter.
The merit of that is this.
Yep. Moretti will play it 10 metres out. Trainers with him.
It's called a dumb play, Andrew. A dumb play. And as you said, when you've got less than a minute to go and you're down by 6.
Here we go. Time back on. All or nothing. De Silva to the right. Walker to Barlaw. Caught 2 out. And loses the ball. Pappenhausen comes away with it. Melbourne is going to win this. They lead 16 points to 10, and they've just held their nerve better than Parramatta at crucial times, even without Jerome Hughes. It's a set restart here for Melbourne as well. They're 5th of the game, and they take it up to their own 20.
I think the biggest contributing factor to Melbourne winning the game is Parramatta's poor execution on vital plays, Andrew, because they've created a lot of more opportunities carrying the ball.
Melbourne running the clock down now. 24 out from their own goal line. Katoa plays it to Grant. Short ball right to King. It's taken by De Silva. 32 out. Trying to rip it out. He actually got his hands to it, ripped it out, but he goes straight back to Melbourne. Talent De Silva. Just hasn't worked for him in these last few minutes. Melbourne 31 out. That's it. It's all over. The Melbourne Stormers again found a way. They are so good at that. They can look less than impressive and still win. They've done it here. 16-10 over Parramatta before a crowd of 9,402. 16 points for Melbourne. Tries to Eliesa Katoa in the 17th minute, Tuikama Kamitha in the 35th, and the game winner, a Munster kick, great catch by Xavier Coates in the 70th minute. Ryan Pappenhausen kicked 1 goal from 4 attempts, Nick Meaney 1 from 1, 5 restarts, and an unsuccessful challenge. For Parramatta, 10 points, tries to Josh Adokar in the 25th minute. Quite a brilliant try scored by Charlie Geimer in the 45th minute. Zach Lomax 1 from 3. Will Benson on report in the 41st minute for a chicken wing. Half-time was 10-4 Melbourne. Full-time 16-10 to the Melbourne Storm. They score 3 tries to 2 to win this game 16-10. Again, it's nothing they're going to write home about, Matthew Elliott, but it's 2 points they'll just bag and run away with again.
Yeah, Andrew, and you mentioned it a couple of times during the call as these are the games that Melbourne win. They don't play their best game, but they get 2 points, and that's vital. And they've been doing this for a long period of time, so it's not that we're in shock about it, but Parramatta certainly did enough to win this game. They gave it away.
Get all the reaction downstairs, including for the Melbourne captain, Harry Grant, Rowan Sims.
Yeah, thanks very much, Harry. That was a tough one. I can see by the look on your face and your body language, that was a physical affair.
Yeah, it was. We knew that coming into the game, and I think Parramatta have been, the most improved team this year, and I know they're not probably getting some of the results, but you see with their performances and, having Mitch back in the side, we knew we were up for a contest, and our discipline wasn't good tonight. We made it very hard on ourselves, but I think this big fella here, Stefano, he really led the charge for us. Changed the game with some momentum stuff, but it's good to come away with a win.
Absolutely. In that first half, there was a period where you guys had 28 tackles that you had on the Eels defensive line, they were defending. Was it starting to get a little frustrating because it ended up resorting to kicks, which got you points, but usually run first is your guys' mentality?
No, not at all. I think when you come into a game expecting to score points, you probably get frustrated, and that was probably a good thing with our mindset. We weren't expecting points, and when you can make the opposition tackle any team's happy with that. So I think everyone was pretty good across the board. And, yeah, I think we got some really good aerial threats. So, kicking's part of our, our weapons as well.
Absolutely. Having Cam Munster back as well is obviously a really big step up for you guys. He just adds another layer of attack.
Yeah, he does. Sometimes he's too team first and very selfless, trying to bring everyone else into the game. And when Money's playing his game, he's running and he's confident in his game. He's such a weapon, and we just need to keep reminding him to run the ball and play his game.
Well, thanks very much for chatting to us on ABC. Go and enjoy the win.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, Melbourne captain Harry Grant down there with Ruan Sims. Melbourne 16 has beaten Parramatta 10. All right, what about the reaction from the Parramatta camp? The always excitable Josh Adokar, who scored again against his old team, Roo.
Yes, thanks very much. And I tell you what, Foxy, you seem to score points against the Melbourne Storm at an alarming rate for Melbourne Storm fans.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure playing against the boys. We've got really close mates there, but killed ourselves tonight. But there's a lot of lessons there that we can take away from the game.
I'll tell you what, I was actually just talking to Harry Grant about this. There was a period in that first half where you guys had to defend 28 tackles back-to-back on your own line, and it took the Melbourne Storm 28 tackles to actually crack that defensive line.
Yeah, full credit to Jason Rolls. We were working really hard on our goal line defence there, and it showed tonight, but fell short tonight. Like I said, plenty of lessons there, so go back to the drawing board.
When you guys shifted out to the left, especially those long shifts out to the left, it looked sparkling.
Yeah, I feel like we could have done more of that in the second half, give ourselves a better chance of creating opportunities for our outside men. But like I said, there's plenty of lessons there that we can get from that game.
Matt Dury, he got split open in that second half. Looked like he'd taken a horseshoe to the side of the head there. He's a tough customer. He turned up again for you guys tonight.
He's a wonderful talent. He's young and he's a bright future for Para, and he's been playing excellent for us boys. We need him to be at his best for us to be at our best. So full credit to him. He's been working really hard.
Well, speaking about good talents, your young fullback, he is so good. He moves beautifully at the back for you guys. What's he like around?
Yeah, Joash, he's a wonderful talent. Me and him have worked closely together over the last couple of years, and just to see him grow, especially this off-season or this pre-season, and just so glad to see that his talent's coming to life and everyone can see it.
Now, I know you guys didn't get the 2 points tonight, but I tell you what, just the way you guys have developed throughout this whole season, Rolsey has to be happy with that.
No, he is. You can see improvements, and he always speaks about that. He always tries to stay positive, and he always tells us, take our lessons, you know what I mean? So, and that's what I feel like the boys have done throughout the whole year, and we've got a good bunch of boys that are willing to work hard and most importantly, learn. So, it's a pleasure being a part of this club and also helping Rolsey and the coaching staff with these younger fellas.
Well, thanks for chatting to us on ABC Sport. I know it's hard after a loss, but at the same time, go and enjoy those ice baths.
I appreciate the love, eh? Thank you.
Josh Adokar. That was a great chat with Ruan Sims after Melbourne defeated his Parramatta Eels 16 points to 10 here at Western Sydney Stadium. And for the most part, Matty, I thought their defence was really committed and really good, Parramatta. Maybe one or two lapses, but not as many as there were in attack. I thought right from the get-go, they tackled with great intent.
Well, they looked like the most dangerous team in attack as well, Andrew, but their defensive play was good. You could see the Melbourne strategy really early. I just looked down at Grimer there. He's missed 12 tackles in that game. That's they really picked out that right side, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. Parramatta scrambled really well around that.
Well, Nick Meaney, he became the goal-kicking saviour right at the end of the game. Back in his natural setter position after the 16-10 victory. He is with you, Roo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. That was a hard-fought victory tonight. I spoke to Harry Grant about this. It was very physical from the Parramatta Eels, and you guys just came up with it the way you do in the end.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough. Obviously, their performance last week against Broncos was really brave, and they really gave it to them. And they got Jason Rolls, the coach now, so we know what he's like. And I think we just needed to complete a bit better. And I don't know if we were lucky to get away
away with the win, but we'll keep building on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say lucky. I think you guys just find a way to actually get the victory that you need whenever you need it. But at the same time, I think just the way you apply yourselves is really important week in, week out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it starts during the week, early in the week, and getting that prep right. I think we're doing that really well, and then sometimes getting to the games, we're just a bit sloppy with it. So I guess it's all learnings, really. Not everything's going to be perfect, and we'll take that on to next week.
Harry actually said Big Stefano, Yutoi Kamanu, was really good for you guys tonight. He actually did. He was just punching it through, especially his second stint made a big difference.
Yeah, it did. You really notice when he comes on just the impact he has and the bodies he's leaving on the ground. It feels like every week there's someone on the deck from one of his runs, but he's an origin player and you can see why.
And also when Tui came on, scored a try and then came up with a pretty damn good try celebration, if I say so myself.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's always practicing that as well in the team rooms. It's good to see him go over.
When you got the goal kicking in that second half, was it nice just to sort of get you guys 6 points up?
Yeah, there's a bit of pressure on it. Obviously, you saw Craig's reaction to the penalty goal, and I was just thinking in the back of my mind, if I miss this, what's his reaction going to be? But I practiced during the week, and we're pretty fortunate to have 2 goal kickers in the team, so it was good for it to go over.
Well, thanks very much for your time for chatting to us on ABC Sport. Go and enjoy your win.
Cheers, thank you.
Nick Meaney with Ruan Sims, and Ru will join us back here in the broadcast box for the remains of the post-game show through until 10 o'clock. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10, and what's next is your ABC Player of the Year points, Matthew Elliott.
Well, the players were in agreement with me, the Storm players, because I went for Stefano Utukamanu. He carried the ball for 159 metres, 30 tackles, Andrew, and I thought he was a key player in them sort of gaining momentum through the middle third of that field. Katoa gets my 2 points. Again, really good effort from him defensively. 33 tackles, no misses, 141 metres. He gets my 2 points. And Junior Borlo, gets my 1 point from the Parramatta side. I thought he made a huge difference. He was only off the field for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and it was noticeable when he wasn't on there. Carried the ball, 162 metres, 34 tackles. He's just a workhorse, and I really noticed the difference when he wasn't out there.
So 3 points goes to Melbourne front rower Stefano Utoikamanu, 2 to second rower Eliesa Katoa, and 1 to Parramatta captain Junior Borlo. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 10. Just on the ABC Player of the Year, I don't believe those points have had any impact. And we come into this round with 6 rounds remaining. James Tedesco, the Roosters captain, leads with 24, and then a tie for second with Cowboys co-captain Tom Dearden and Cronulla Sharks hooker Blake Brayley. Dearden and Brayley both on 20, so it really is a race in 3. Daly Cherry Evans, Terrell Mayer on 17, Will Kennedy up to 16, Jai Gray 15, and Herbie Farnworth 14, and there's like a million on 13 points, including Nathan Cleary. But James Tedesco, and they play Manly Ringer on Saturday night, leads the ABC Player of the Year by 4 points over Tom Dearden and Blake Brayley.
What an amazing season he's had, Andrew. Like for 33 and the amount of footy he plays, he doesn't leave. His whole career he's never left anything out there. So you'd think he'd start to run out of energy, but he's still going, and again close to the best in the comp, no doubt about that.
Your texts remain welcome. 0467 920 222, 0467 920 222. In the AFL, 3/4 time, Western Bulldogs 112, leading the GWS Giants 42. So that's a 70-point lead into the final term, with the Giants 6th but equal 4th on competition points, and they're getting blown away by the 9th placed Western Bulldogs, 112 to 42. Day 1 approaching lunch at the Oval, the 5th and series deciding cricket test. England won the toss, sent India into bat, and India is 2 down for 68. 2 for 68 in its first innings, with Siddharthan on 23 and Shubman Gill on 11, the new Indian captain, who already has 4 centuries and over 700 runs in this series. Shubman Gill, not a bad way to stamp your mark, is it?
I used to play cricket once.
Shazri Joswell went for 2, KL Rahul went for 14, as that series goes down to the wire. Now on the text line, 0467 920 222. Plenty of lessons. We're at the back end of a long season, thinking we should have learnt our lessons by now.
What would you respond to that? Because they all, Parramatta players will say the same things.
They did say the same things, Andrew, but again, you identified it in the core perfectly, is they created a lot of pressure. They just weren't able to take advantage of it because of just errors at vital times, consistently coming up with poor decision-making rather than, they weren't forced errors or they weren't high-risk errors. They were just dumb plays a lot of the time.
Andrew and team, as a footy fan, how good is Joash? He's a future superstar for sure, says Grimes. Yeah, he's fun to watch, Joash Papali, and we've been watching him play in that position in the lower grades this year, and he obviously stood out. Mikey from Bendigo, Andrew and team hadn't been impressed by Stefano this season, but thought he was very good tonight. He certainly was. And David says Para lost when they chose the conversion to level the score. Try was begging. What do you mean? I mean the penalty. You've got to take the two. You've got to level up.
I disagree with that one. I would have taken the two.
100%.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. Hi.
Hello, Roo. Welcome back.
They lost the game through what we talked about.
Yeah.
Just poor execution at vital times.
But it is amazing, isn't it, that Melbourne do win these games so much more regularly than they don't. They can just find a way.
Yeah, they do. And that's what I mentioned to Nick Meaney, and he's like, oh, well, maybe we're lucky. And I was like, no,
that doesn't mean luck.
It's not like they just work themselves into a position to win.
You don't go a decade of luck.
No.
And under Craig Bellamy's coaching is that even if that's how Melbourne are always at the top of the comp, they can win games of footy when they don't play their best.
Yeah. And they don't die on the play. They'll just keep working through it.
Also on the text line, not the tax line, that's for another time. Hi team, would be interested to hear Supercoach Matt's thoughts on playing Harry Grant at half and Wishart at hooker to add some spark to the Storm attack while Hughes is out. That's from Tiger Dave listening in Coffs Harbour.
I've heard worse ideas, Tiger Dave, but I think Harry Grant at hooker is definitely where he's most dangerous. We saw that tonight, albeit I don't think he took advantage of the ruck speed they generated like he did last week.
You know what was interesting? Sorry, in that first half, the play the ball speed for the Melbourne Storm in the first 30 minutes was under 3 seconds, and Harry Grant didn't run once.
Hang on, is that good, bad, or indifferent? I don't think anyone knows what that means.
So to me, that means exactly what Matt's saying. He didn't take advantage of the ruck speed enough.
Right.
And the other player that's obviously back from long-term injury that would exploit that at his best is Ryan Pappenhausen. That's where you see him make breaks right up the back of the ruck. He
looked just a bit off tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, he was nowhere near his best.
Okay, a lot off.
Yeah.
First game back in 5 weeks from that.
It's a long time.
Tiny little calf injury that ended up costing him 4 games.
Yeah, I thought he was very conservative in even when he was catching the ball, Andrew, as you said, he was looking for someone to pass to straight away. And him at his best around ruck speed, he would have made 90% of his breaks in the NRL through the back of the ruck off a quick play of the ball.
And Dubbo Dragon says, Maury, Matty, Roo, Para's played this game like they're a top 8 side. Junior should be proud of where he got his team, or Jason Ryle, JR. Moses wasn't quite biblical tonight. No, he threatened, but while he was bending Melbourne, he didn't break them in the end. Today's technically my twin brother's day. Tomorrow is my birthday day. Okay, well, happy birthday to all of you. The margin-making Dockers percentage, I know that's sent by Michael Carianis. Michael, I can't deal with Fremantle Dockers chat at the moment. Kieran says, I don't know about you guys, but after tonight's game and how Canberra's doing, grand final featuring 2 teams not from New South Wales or Queensland is kind of exciting to me. Yeah, I asked the Gibbs and Louis what's their ideal grand final matchup this year, and they both went in the end after about 48 goes at it, Canberra and Penrith. For Penrith, dramatic come from behind game for a 5th straight, and Canberra the way they've been. What about for you?
I'm going Bulldogs as one because I just love their fans. Not driving home, by the way, but I love their fans. And Bulldogs versus Canberra.
Okay, what about you, Ronaldo?
I think, I was going to say Bulldogs Penrith to say, just to make it really, obviously Panthers come back, whatever else, but I can't disagree with Matty. I feel like, Bulldogs Canberra would be awesome.
Around the grounds, AFL final quarter, Western Bulldogs 118, leading GWS Giants 42. All right, we've got a few minutes to go. Now, for the remains of the weekend, tomorrow night, myself, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs on air from 5:30 on the ABC Listen app in the boardroom, and then we'll bring you the game 6 o'clock on local radio. New Zealand Warriors against the Dolphins. We spoke about this in the pre-game show, with the Warriors just clinging on to fourth spot, 3 points ahead of a rampaging Penrith, and the Dolphins in eighth spot. They do welcome back Cody Nikorima. The Warriors have a stack out. Then at 8 o'clock, you'll hear this game with Quentin Hull, Billy Moore and Zane Bojack. Brisbane Broncos against bottom of the table South Sydney, who are without just about, everyone who's ever drawn breath. Who are your winners tomorrow night, Matthew?
I'm on the Dolphins and the Broncos tomorrow, Andrew.
×2.
Okay, big Queensland night. Speaking of Queensland teams, it's the Gold Coast Titans getting us underway on Saturday. We'll be on air from 2 p.m. We're going to do the pre-game show in the boardroom, actually, and end up at Brookvale Oval. At 3 p.m, though, off to Robina Stadium, Gold Coast against the Penrith Panthers. Can the Gold Coast do it twice in a row, or does Penrith win an 8th straight?
Penrith win an 8th straight, Andrew.
Yeah, Pinky Panthers.
Pinky Panthers.
In their away pink jersey tomorrow.
At 5:30 in Wollongong, Matt Elliott will be part of this coverage on the touchline. St George Illawarra against the Canberra Raiders. Don't even. I'm going to ask you, Roo, instead.
I'm going with the Canberra Raiders on this one.
I'm going with the Canberra Raiders on this one.
Even though it is at Wollongong, I'm going for...
Well, they've only won 2 of the last 5 there. Is it becoming Campbelltown Stadium to the West Tigers?
Ish.
Okay. Manly Roosters, can't wait for this. Brookvale Oval on Saturday night. Huge for both teams. Who wins it, Ruan Sims?
This one is probably the most evenly matched game of the round. I'm going to go the Tricolours.
They've won 5 of their last 7 against Manly. Will it be 6 of 8, Matthew?
No, I'm going to go for Manly in this game. There's just a feel coming out of a bit of a tired-looking Roosters team last week.
Did you see Manly in the second half?
Yes, I did.
Were they tired? Okay. West Tigers, Canterbury Bankstown here, 2 o'clock Sunday. We'll be on air from midday. Any chance of an upset in this one? Well, obviously there's a chance, but the likelihood...
Oh, there's always a chance, but I'm saying that the Bulldogs are going to be coming away with the 2 points.
I concur.
Not tight. Canterbury, wide awake.
They're wide awake, Andrew.
I think they win too. All right, Cronulla Sutherland, North Queensland, 4 p.m. at Shark Park.
I'm going the Sharkies.
You're nervous about it, though.
I am.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I am.
Okay. Well, the Cowboys have owned them in recent years.
My mate listens to this show, so I've got to go for the Sharks.
I'll tip Cowboys. They won 13 of their last 15 against Cronulla. That's a thing for me. Another thing for us is getting out of here, which we're about to do now. So, Matthew, lovely to see you, mate, and work with you, and I'll listen to you from the gong on Saturday.
Can't wait, Andrew. Sideline. Rue's going to give me some
tips. Down rain too. Oh. Hey, Rue, great to see you. First time in a while.
Guys.
Catch you soon. Enjoy Magic Round.
Absolutely. Thank you. Later, skaters.
Thank you to Ralph Tucker, and much more of that excitement on the Night Network through the weekend. Thank you to our producer, Ralph Tucker, and man of sound, Dennis Carnahan, and to Ned Hall back in the studio. And thank you so much for listening. Hope we have your company over the next 3 days as round 22 of the NRL continues. I'm Andrew Moore. This is how the Storm beat the Eels.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
Munster, crossfield kick, close to the goal line. Up they go. Katoa comes down with it, and I'll back him to score every day of the week. He scores 1 million of these tries. Perfect kick by Munster. Perfect take by Katoa, and the 27th tackles the charm. He strikes it. Oh, it's a shocking kick, and ricocheted off both uprights and goes back into the field of play. His first kick a goal in 5 weeks is not a good one, but it's a double uprighter. Goes left to Moses, then to Hawkins, then away to Papali. Links up with Russell Llewellyn. Carr, he dives underneath Anderson. Does he get it down? Josh Carr does. Try to the Parramatta Eels. And I tell you what, ever since leaving the Melbourne Storm, Josh Carr has haunted them. Here comes Lomax with the right boot. He strikes it off the upright, no goal. It's a woodworkathon. But he only hit one of them. Plays the ball to Grant. Melbourne looking to get a roll on here. Comes right, Carmack and Mifa is straight through. paper-thin defence, and he's over to score the try with 6 minutes left in the first half. And Tui Kamakamitha, he's over to score, and to the Parramatta defence, he said, Padaka Bakalevu. At the line, he offloads to Moses, then a short ball away to Guymer into a middle space. Can he link up Guymer? He's still got the ball, he's over the line. Charlie Guymer is over. It was touched by Melbourne, I'm sure. 6 more, says the ref, and he also says, try to Charlie Guymer, what an effort. 17 out from the line, last tackle for Melbourne. Grant goes left, Peasant, out the back Munster. Crossfield kick, Coates and Lomax. Oh, what a cat save he had, Coates. You can hear the whistle of Jared Sutton. How many times has he done that? Melbourne 31 out, that's it. It's all over. The Melbourne Storm has again found a way. They are so good at that. They can look less than impressive and still win. They've done it here. 16-10 over Parramatta.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will meet the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu soon as international outrage grows over the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The BBC's Yolan Nell has more from Jerusalem.
He's coming here, of course, at a critical time with ceasefire talks stalled. Last week we had the US and Israel pulling their negotiators out of Qatar, where several weeks of indirect talks between Israel and Hamas have been going on. There was a lot of disappointment, anger last week when those latest talks broke down. We understand there have still been some indirect talks going on in Cairo, but Israeli media are saying that the message has been passed to Hamas in the past few days that if it doesn't accept the deal that is currently on the table, then Israel will adopt punitive measures.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump says the US-Canada trade deal will be very hard after Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced he intends to recognise a Palestinian state. Chelsea Hetherington has the details.
Canada and the US have been working on negotiating a trade deal by August 1st. The date President Donald Trump is threatening to impose a 35% tariff on Canadian goods. But now Mr. Trump has suggested he won't make a trade deal after Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced plans to recognise a Palestinian state at the UN in September. It follows similar commitments from the UK and France. Israel and the US have both rejected Mr. Carney's move, saying it would be rewarding Hamas. Canada has not responded to President Trump's latest comments.
Australia's domestic spy chief has warned that foreign interference and espionage has reached unprecedented levels in Australia. ASIO chief Mike Burgess says his agency has disrupted 24 major espionage and foreign interference operations over the past 3 years. Mr Burgess has also declared that espionage cost the Australian economy at least $12.5 billion in the 2023-24 financial year. He added that spies are using increasingly sophisticated methods to target Australia.
ASIO investigated all these plots. Some of them may yet result in police charges, so I won't go into further detail here. But they are just the tip of an espionage iceberg. Nation states are spying at unprecedented levels and with unprecedented sophistication.
Plans are underway to protect the Australian giant cuttlefish as a marine algal bloom poses a serious threat to the species. Tens of thousands of cuttlefish migrate to South Australia to breed each year, the only place in the world where it's been observed. While the algae has yet to reach the breeding ground, an emergency meeting has prompted plans to harvest eggs and raise them in relative safety. Marine ecologist Manny Katz warns that inaction could lead to devastating consequences.
I think if you don't do it, if we don't collect eggs and don't try to do something, we do have a real chance at losing them. As far as will it work, in my opinion, I think it's uncertain, but I think you still have to try.
New Zealand's Parliament has voted to reverse a ban on oil and gas exploration introduced by the previous administration in the country. The governing right-wing coalition says new petroleum exploration permits will be available from September to counter fast-falling reserves. The Minister for Oceans and Fisheries, Shane Jones, says New Zealand has set a course for greater energy security. A Perth court has heard that a woman concealed her newborn baby after giving birth in her home. David Webber has the story.
Monique Ellen Burton has pleaded guilty to interfering with a corpse along with multiple fraud charges. The court heard she gave birth in her home in Geraldton in 2022 after concealing her pregnancy from her partner. She put the baby in a plastic bag and placed the bag behind a couch. Burton continued to deny to medical staff that she'd had a baby. Her partner found the bag and put it in a freezer. Burton eventually revealed the location of the body and said the baby was stillborn. The court also heard she'd gained thousands of dollars after falsely claiming she had a terminal illness. The 35-year-old will be sentenced tomorrow.
And a Swedish man has been convicted and sentenced to life in prison for his role in the 2015 killing of a Jordanian pilot by the Islamic State militant group. The 26-year-old Jordanian was taken captive after his F-16 fighter jet crashed near the extremist de facto capital in northern Syria. He was forced into a cage that was set on fire. The suspect, identified by Swedish prosecutors as Osama Krayem, is alleged to have travelled to Syria in 2014 to fight for Islamic State. This is ABC News.
Every day, all around Australia, extraordinary people create moments that inspire. See them, hear them. All you have to do is nominate them at australianoftheyear.org.au.
ABC Sport Digital Radio. ABC Sport, your home of basketball.
We've spoken about Penrith's 7th straight win, and they just choked out West Tigers, especially in the second half. They win 36 points to 2, and Tom Jenkins continues to play great footy on the wing for the Panthers, who are almost at full strength. Tom Jenkins joined us online. How are you, Tom?
Hey guys, good, thanks. How are you?
Mate, very, very well. We enjoyed calling your game last night. We've described it as methodical, clinical, almost typical Penrith, certainly over the last 5 years. The way that you get that lead and then you just keep pinning the other team down in their own territory. You're patient, you wait for a mistake, and when it comes, you guys pounce as well as you've ever done. Is it starting to feel now with 7 wins under the belt, Tom, like Penrith over the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously results are sort of speaking for themselves, and it does look good. And but there's definitely a lot to improve on. I think our attack was a bit probably not as crisp as it could have been, but we'll work on it.
I agree with all that. Yet here you are still scoring 36 points, and I know the interviews Michael Carianis did after the game last night on the field on our coverage. All of you seem to have that attitude, and I guess that comes from a club with a very much a winning culture, is that you know there's always another mountain to climb. There's always a way to get better, but you only have to compare it to when you played them in round 14, Tom, and it was a real grafty, grindy, hard-fought 4-point win. Things are a lot different in these last 5 or 6 weeks, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, I think so. But in saying that, Tigers obviously on a pushover side. They've got a lot of quality players, and I think there's a bit of rivalry there in the sense of Romy and Tito and stuff. So players are nappy, like they're all going to go up for games like that. I feel like most teams do. So
mate, Taruva had a blinder last night.
Yeah, he did. He's good, isn't he?
Tom, do you mind if I call you Milky? Because everyone calls you Milky. It feels weird calling you by Tom. But Milky, well done on your form, mate. But I want to ask you, what's been the biggest difference you've noticed coming from a team like the Newcastle Knights and then going to a side who's obviously won 4 grand finals, and the way that they prepare and training during the week, all that sort of stuff? Tell me the difference for you.
I think the standards. I think, and it's really player driven at Penrith, obviously. You're not making many errors and stuff like that without it being pulled up and said, right, click into gear kind of thing. In saying that, it wasn't like Newcastle was bad or didn't have a good standard. I just think Penrith's standard's so high that it ends up pulling the youngest ones all the way through, and even the youngest ones are pushing the boys above them kind of thing. So I think that it's just a big system. That's how it works.
I love the word standards, because we had Dylan Edwards on a couple of weeks ago, and we said, what's the difference between the start of the season and compared to the last 7 weeks? And he said the standards of training that's what it's about. Can you give us a little bit of an explanation then to the listeners when he talks about making sure everyone's standards are up and you're seeing you guys pulling that up? What does it look like or sound like?
It's not even. I don't reckon it's a big thing. It's not like they're screaming and yelling and spraying boys. It could just be come on, we catch those, or better pass here, better pass there. But it could be off to the side. It could be, if there's a few there, they might just pull up and say, righto, let's start to focus a bit more now. And I feel like that's a big one, is it's not people spraying each other, but it's people holding each other accountable. I think there's a big difference in them two words.
Yeah, no, I love that. Now, I just got to ask you before I pass you over to Johnny Gibbs. Now, we've seen Liam Martin come back out last night, and
don't undersell this, Louis. Do not undersell.
Well, I'm going to let you sell it just in case I don't understand.
Well, Tom, I'm concerned if you have the nickname Milky. What the hell is Liam Martin's nickname? Because we hadn't seen him for a few weeks. We did, in fairness, ask him about this after the game. We had a laugh about it. I didn't know what to call him. I've never seen a more pale human being in my entire life. He looked like Casper. He looked like a glowworm. What is doing with his lack of tan? He's lost 50%, I reckon, of his body colour.
I know. I think we're going to start having to call him Howie from the Benchwarmers. He's very white. So he's almost taken my title.
Well, he said there's a competition between me and Milky Jenkins about who can be the palest. I think he's got me covered. Not even close.
Dude, no way. Look at him. He's see-through.
Exactly what you said, Andy.
That is brilliant. There you go. As you were, gentlemen.
Now, I've spoken to Milky at the conclusion of the games. We've done quite a few Penrith games. He's always smiling. And the point that I've made to you before, Tom, is that your form in recent times, you hadn't scored for the first 3 or 4, 5 games, and then all of a sudden you've had a flurry. You've had 7 in the last 7 games. You've made more line breaks than any other Panthers player, and most of those have come in the last few weeks. Now, it can't all be down to the team's improved performance, but what do you feel is different for you?
I just think more that the connection. Obviously, Case Blaze and I are pretty young edge, and I feel like it took us a few weeks to really get in that groove, but I feel like now it's sort of really starting to work. We're confident in attack. We sort of understand how each other's playing at the moment. But I reckon in defence as well. Defence obviously wins games, and having a good edge and trusting each other to make defensive reads. I feel like that helps in the attack situation of, I trust you to finish this try or do stuff like that. So I feel like that's probably helped us the most, is just playing together for a few weeks.
And when you're on that left side, you are the senior member there. I mean, they have got extraordinary talent. That ball that Blaze gave you for your try, another try against the West Tigers, it was sublime. I mean, you couldn't have messed that one up if you tried.
I know, it was good, wasn't it? I know, I bombed one last week, so I had to make up for it this week.
Yeah, we're just looking at your draw, and I know you guys as players are reluctant to do that, and you've got to take care of business against Gold Coast and Newcastle. And then, as you guys are now only 3 points out of the top 4, that becomes a realistic goal. You've got back-to-back weeks: Melbourne, Canberra, Canterbury, 3 teams in the top 4. If you make top 4, Tom, with that sort of clump of games against rivals in that current top 4, you're going to have really hurt the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think the next 6 weeks are going to be a really challenging 6 weeks. So I think I'm excited for it. I'm sure a lot of the boys are as well. So, yeah, like you said, we don't want to look too far ahead. It's week by week. Titans are a good side. You've seen what they've done yesterday. So, I'm excited. It'll be a good challenge.
Look, we like to do this. You scored 3 tries against the West Tigers when you played in round 14, and you did finish off the scoring last night. This is how. Lays it 20 in from the eastern touchline to Kenny. Spins it open side left to Cleary. Dummy, out the back to Lungy. And no look at the Jenkins. That one worked. In pursuit, Billy, but I think Jenkins gets it down in the corner.
It was a fair old finish. And Blaze Talang, I think he was 0-4 with those tip-ons, but that one was absolutely perfect last night.
I reckon it's worth revisiting. I was having a chat with Louis before, Tom, about what happened to you last year where you went to Newcastle, you played 5 games, scored no tries, by the way. All of your tries have been scored in Penrith colours, but you're a lesson in perseverance. So just to remind our listeners, at the start of the year, where you didn't start in first grade, you could have been playing, in the Reggies, and here you are going fantastic, as good as any winger.
Yeah, it was obviously a weird start to the year. Started with training with Massey, and then went to the Arvo squad with Cup and got lucky and I went into a full-time position, and round 3 filled in with Storm, and then it's gone from there. It's been good.
So you were 2 levels then, you weren't even in the Reggies?
I was planning on playing Massey, and then I started with Cup round 1, which was good, and then round 3 come in.
Gibbsy, you've reminded him that he didn't score for Newcastle. Now that he's about to play Rod Massey Cup.
Yeah, but you know
A
what?
message from Ivan to keep him grounded.
No, but he's saying that. I love that, because the journey, it's not about the destination, and what you've done to get to where you are, mate. It's phenomenal. So, well done.
Yeah, no doubt. And just do yourself and us one favour, Tom. It's a training session this week. Just take a selfie alongside, standing right next to Liam Martin, and that contest will be won by an absolute knockout.
Done. I'll make sure we put the fake tan on or something so we win it.
Yeah, mate, you don't need to. Trust me. All right. Always good to have you on, Tom. Well done again last night. 7 in a row. Let's see how far this journey can go in terms of Penrith bidding for a 5th straight. Thanks so much for joining us.
Legends. Thanks, guys.
Your footy fix, live and ad-free with the ABC Listen app. Whatever footy you're after, we've got you covered. Called by ABC Sports expert commentary team. ABC Sports coverage of the footy on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sport. Welcome to this edition of the Sporting Witness podcast from the BBC World Service with me, Umidori Swami. I'm taking you back to 1991 when one of the world's best tennis coaches realised he was coaching two future world number ones, Venus and Serena Williams.
Now I'm thinking, not only can these girls be number one in the world, and they live in the same house and share the same bedroom, they can transcend the sport.
That's Rick Macey. He's a 7-time National Tennis Coach of the Year and has worked with Andy Roddick, Jennifer Capriati, Maria Sharapova, and Venus and Serena Williams. The story of how the Williams sisters got involved in tennis is sporting folklore. Here's their dad, Richard Williams.
Before they were born, I had seen a tennis match on TV, and Virginia Rezique was the recipient of $40,000 for a tennis tournament for 4 days. And I was just thinking, if a person make that type of money in 4 days, and I had two girls, that's $80,000 a week. I really began to look into it to see if that was true, that tennis players earn that type of money, because I didn't know anything about tennis, but it was true. So I went to their mom and said, I want to have two kids, and they're going to be professional tennis players.
So their destiny was sealed. But Richard needed a bit of help to get the girls going on his chosen path. This is where Rick comes in.
I get this phone call one day from Richard Williams, and he said, I'm honored to talk to you. I got two daughters, Venus and Serena, and we want you to come to Compton. And I said, well, I didn't know anything about Compton at the time. This was 1991. I just heard, like riots and stuff like that. And he was the funniest guy ever. He goes, hey, Rick, I promise I won't get you shot.
As reassuring as that might have been, flying from Florida, where his tennis academy was, to Compton in LA, which was the other side of America, was not something Rick normally did.
I never go see a player. They either come to the academy or I would see them at a tournament. How crazy is that? The first time I've ever done this, I just said, I'm curious. So I booked a flight, went to LA, and that night, it was just like yesterday. Venus, Serena, Orsine, and Richard come to the hotel. And then Richard, he pulls out a piece of paper and he starts grilling me. But I respected it kind of, because if he was going to let someone in his circle, I guess, he wanted a father figure, a role model, someone who's been there, done that. We talked for like 2 hours, and he said, hey, we're picking you up tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We're going to East Compton Hills Country Club.
Country club might have been a bit of an exaggeration.
About 10 minutes into the drive, I'm looking around and I go, this is a strange place for a country club. So we pull up to a park. We get out. Okay, there's about 20 guys playing basketball. This is 7:30 on a Saturday. People are smoking, drinking, passed out in the grass. So we had to go walk across the basketball court. It parts like the Red Sea. They go, hey, VW, Venus Williams. Hey, Meek, Serena's middle name, Serena Jamaica Williams. They were like celebrity, because you can imagine, this is Compton, California, two little African-American girls on these raggedy old tennis courts.
This is the first time Rick has seen the sisters in action.
And I start drilling Venus and Serena. And there's arms and legs and hair. Remember, I had Capriati. She was poetry in motion. And now I'm looking at this up in Compton, and it's a train wreck. But it's a great lesson. You don't judge a book by the cover. About an hour into the workout, I said, let's play competitive points. And the whole landscape changed. The footwork got better. The preparation got better. But what blew me away, the burning desire to get to the ball with both girls. There was like a rage. There was something inside these two little girls I've never seen. And I told Richard, come here. I go, let me tell you something. I said, you got the next female Michael Jordan on your hands. And he puts his arm around me and he goes, no, brother, man, I got the next two.
They joined the academy in September 1991 and trained 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, with 4 hours on Saturdays. Serena started with Rick when she was only 9 years old. It didn't take long for him to realise the potential she had.
I did see at a young age, Serena is the best athlete that I've ever coached. And this is when she was 11. And she had all the time in the world. And people would look at me and they didn't understand what I meant by that. It was an innate quality. It looked like she wasn't even trying. She just could slow things down in her mind. But more importantly, there was this rage. Whenever we kept score, she was like a pit bull. She would not let go